Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Everyone over there on all the social media platforms, welcome. Good to see all of you again in your bright, shiny faces. Good grief. How is it already Wednesday? Look at us go. Look at all of us go. Gonna check all the social sites, make sure we've got everything coming in, all the people. Mute all my things here. Mute all the things. Welcome, everybody. Hello, everybody on TikTok. Good to see all of you. Good to see everybody as everybody starts to pour in. Find a stationary spot here and try not to move since I seem to move a lot while I do these things. Sitting still for 4 hours straight is borderline insanity. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Hello, hello. Looks like we've got people pouring in. That's great. Welcome everyone. My name is Ange. I'm with American Dream Trading. I am the futures mentor. Good to see all of you. Thanks for coming in. All of you over on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. Same with all of you on TikTok. Please subscribe, share, or whatever it is we all do over here on TikTok land. That would be great. Now I should be able to hear everybody. So I guess I had everybody on mute. Good to see all of you. Want to take a quick minute to thank everybody for coming in here today. It's good to see you. We will be in here for 4 hours today, going over different issues and things and fun things with futures. So please come with questions. It'll help the time go by a lot faster. I would greatly appreciate that. Take a minute to thank all the moderators who come in here each day to help make this possible. Without you, I might borderline go insane. So thank you everyone for coming in. Thank you, thank you. And obviously, thank you to Coach for trusting me to lead the pack. I appreciate you as well. We do have some promotions going on for Black Friday. We'll cover those here in a few minutes as more people come in. American Dream Trading and anyone associated with us is not a financial, tax, or investment advisor. Everything we do and discuss is for training and education purposes only, and you should not use real money while training. So, for the love of God, please use your stops too. We don't need anybody going rogue in here. Capiche? Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. So please like and share, everybody. I appreciate that greatly. I appreciate that greatly. I do not have the bright light on today. I have a migraine, and we're not doing that. So you get Shadow Ange today. That's what y'all get. That is what y'all get today. So we do have a Black Friday sale going on, everyone. So just listen in, okay? 50% off all annual memberships for the first year if you use code VF50 at checkout. So you'll go to americandreamtrading.com. You'll click on pricing. Select the click here for more packages. The giant yellow button at the bottom. Click and get registered, and we will see you in all our VIP shenanigans. All of the shenanigans. I'm going to break out the chat here for our Zoom. Hello, Bayside. Good to see you. And I'm going to break out our participants so I can watch for hands as well. Good to see all of you. Market's been pretty exciting today, I think. For the most part, I've been doing some scalping.
Cool. Yeah, I had a good morning doing it part-time.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, no, it was okay this morning. I didn't do a ton. Did enough to do what I needed to and got the hell out, so I'd stay green. Might try to do a little bit more later. We'll see. We'll see what the day brings. We shall see. Oh, what do we got over here? Do some refreshing. I encourage tons of questions, guys. So please let me know what you have questions on. setup, charting, whatever. You just let me know what you guys want to look at. I currently have crude oil up. I have been doing some mild scalping over here that just here in the last, oh, half hour or so, just to, keep up on the skill, right? I'm not terribly nitpicky. I like to just scalp what I see, right? Come in here and just do the work. I don't need to do much more than that. Check out some levels we have. Draw me a line here. See, we have more people coming in. Good to see all of you. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm going to move this out of the way too because that's annoying. There we go. So anyone that who has been in crude oil this morning, we've had some pretty good runs on scalps, so that's good. I have managed to scalp below the 9 and above it quite a few times here in the last hour, so it's been kind of fun. Did the same thing with MES main this morning. Got in a few of these. Should have stayed in it, but did not. This has been good. Look at all those lines. You can tell this has been my trade of the week with all those lines I have. My system is extra slow today. Good grief. Let me close out of that and reopen it and see if that helps. Oh, this is ridiculously slow. Mark, are you noticing any kind of lag?
No, I am not.
Okay. It just seems like
Why?
it's,
I have Starlink internet created by
oh,
Elon Musk. It's a thing of beauty.
that is my next thing I'm doing. I have decided. Yeah, it is like weird. I don't know what the hell it's doing on my end, but it's not being user friendly. Maybe it's just the user. Uh, Good morning, Bayside. Good to see you. I think I said that already, but it's good to see you guys. Yeah, so did a little ES main this morning just to work on mechanics with the big dogs. Then I spent most of my morning in MES with the smaller contract sizes to work on position size. Hopped in and did a little NQ just because I can, or well, MNQ just because I can today. And then I watched gold for a little while this morning just for the sake of just watching it, right? Just keeping an eye on it. And that's pretty much been it. I managed to come in here and look at the currency once in a while. So I look at 6A main from time to time a little bit more than ever. And just to get an idea of what I watch on a regular basis. I still come back to crude oil, even though sometimes she's a little choppy, but I can get some good scalps out of her from time to time. Awesome. Thank you. No big light today, coach. I have a massive headache. We are not doing that today. Awesome. So what does everybody have for questions? I see just Lauren's asked, what platform do you use? This is Webull. Although you can come in over here and use any platform you choose to, but this is the one that we train on every single day. Great question. Awesome question. Anyone over in Zoom have any questions? Feel free to ask. You have open mics, so you can ask aloud, and if you're not comfortable with that, you can ask via the chat. We'll get your questions answered. You can ask anything, doesn't matter. How many people we got in here? Good grief. That's a lot. Hmm. That's a good question, gold bullet driver. So it would depend on the different ones you choose. It just depends, right? The tickers are different for each future contract. So my suggestion to you would be to pick one or two and learn about them, like learn what their values are and get to know them and be familiar with that so that you'll know for yourself what you'll make and or lose per tick on the particular future that you're looking at. Same goes for the e-minis. If you're asking what I do with NQ, so I'm a scalper. So if I'm going to come over here and make a solid plan to scalp and MNQ, which I would prefer to choose MNQ over NQ because I can control and have more of a position size. So let me make this just a hair bigger so I can see and throw some lines. I can tell you right now that I wouldn't come in here and scalp this just because of where it's sitting. Right now, I would just hold out and wait. I'm not in here to come in here and just do something quick. I wait for pretty good setups and good identifiers for what's in here. My Weevil is being turned. What's going on? Why is this happening? See if that helps. Hang on. I'm going to stop sharing a second and reshare my screen. Something is wrong with my Weeble and I need to fix it. So one moment. Sometimes Weeble's a turd. I sit here on in Weeble and on all of these social sites so much, it's a wonder that it hasn't crashed. Oh, let's see here. All right, now let's pull.
Golden Bullet driver. If you want to know how much each one costs, if you're not already currently hooked up to your own trading broker, you can go to the CME website. They're the ones that manage futures. And on their webpage, if you go down and look at their products webpage, you'll see everything that all the different contracts that you could possibly buy, how much they are during the day, how much they are after hours, and also the tick prices and what each tick is worth. There's so many of them. You just go there and you can take a peek at that. It'll give you every answer to each individual future contract you can trade, and that'll answer all those questions there.
Yeah, those tick prices vary, so it's best and easiest to go and look at those individually yourself than it is to like go through and break them down a little bit on a further side.
A CME website is CME Charlie Mary Edgar Group.com. I will put it in the chat also.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so it doesn't look like we've had a ton of questions. I'll just go ahead and kind of dive in a little bit as to what like my day-to-day operation looks like when I come in here and I start scalping. And just keep an eye on questions and hands and things as we go. So as you can see, guys, I am a futures trader, right? I'm also a scalper. So I sit on the 1 minute typically, and I have been dabbling on the 30-second a little bit here lately to catch some volatility in a candle. But typically I'll sit in a 1 minute. So while I'm sitting in this 1 minute, I'm paying particular attention to a couple of things. One, I'm paying attention to where my indicators are in the trend to begin with, and if there's news. So if I'm going to come in here to MNQ, which typically MNQ likes to rip my face off, so I don't like to sit in this one. So I tend to avoid this one at all cost. Uh, I'll throw on some lines here to do a potential trade. So I will throw on a few just to give myself some good support and resistance, and maybe a couple critical levels in between to kind of gauge the particular direction we're going, and then I'll set up for a scalp. I don't see a good scalp here at this moment without diving too terribly deep into charting without to waste some time. So I'll go and move on to something else. Crude oil typically will give me some general direction and some good scalping opportunities if I come in here. This has been a good one today for scalpers, in my personal opinion. So if you're coming in here to paper trade, make sure you are drawing your lines. And if you're in here with your real money, don't come in here without making sure you know what the hell you're doing. So I'll throw on some good support and resistance lines without really diving into terribly deep into the L2 yet, just to give myself a baseline as to what direction we may be going. I can look here and see that this looks like it's trending downward. So if I'm going to scalp this, if I'm going to scalp it to the upside, it better be a damn good scalp and it better be a quick one, right? If I'm going to short it, it looks like I have a little bit more leeway where I may be able to sit in it a little bit longer, depending on what the indicators are telling me. So while I have this set up, I have a critical level set at 68.26. This is a level that I believe, I don't recall if I throw lines on here sometimes without even thinking, out of habit. So I may put it on today. It may have been something from another day. I'm not even sure because I just do it subconsciously at this point. But I do have a line here at that 68.28. I could come over here to L2 and it'll give me confirmation that this is in fact a good support level to sit at. If I want to get picked up in the weeds, I could put a limit order here at 68.28 and get picked up with the intention and hopes that it will pick me up and take me to 68.32. As a scalper, I want to be in and out of it pretty quickly, which means I'm going to be in this pretty heavy. So typically I'm going to be more than just one contract. A lot of times it's going to be 10 plus or 9. It just kind of depends on what I'm after. If I'm going to go to the upside, if I'm going to short this, I may just do 1 or 2 just to see if I can catch a good opportunity without coming in here and getting my face potentially ripped off. But then I'm going to pay attention to the indicators. Yeah, ranchers, so there are sales going on. We have a Black Friday sale going on. It's 50% off all annual memberships for the first year if you use the code BF50. And then all you need to do and use that code at checkout, okay? You go over to the website, www.americandreamtrading.com. Go under pricing, scroll way to the bottom, select click here for more packages. It's a giant button, you can't miss it. Get yourself registered from there. And if you have questions any further, we have a great admin team that can further help you if you should need more assistance. That is the sale we have going on right now as well. Great question. Yes. Hello, everybody. Good grief. Good to see all of you for coming in. Thank you. Thank you. So oil is moving pretty slowly, right? Like it isn't really doing much of anything at this point. It's literally like watching paint dry. But if you want to get in here and sit it down here in the weeds to get picked up, remember where your trend is going. Okay, so it's trending down. If I'm going to wait in the weeds, I want to see it break this level first, potentially, before I hop in here. I would watch this real carefully. Or you could put an order in on the ask side and have it take you down with it. You can do one or the other. It's up to you. I tend to go more from the support to resistance because it's out of habit. And as you can see, we're taking this to the downside. Now that we've hit the 68.24, you can pop over here and look where resistance is, or sorry, where support is. Looks like it could go down to 68.19. So if you wanted to put a limit order, you could put one in here somewhere around the 68.30, 68.29 area, with the hope that it'll pop back up, grab you, and take you down with it. So that's the intention by doing that. Oh, let's see. Do I want to take a chance and do a paper trade and actually see if I can get it to pull through while I talk? That's always fun to decide. Let's see if it stays below this level that I have here before I do that. It's below the 9, so I want to short this. Okay. Sure. Yeah, we can get in this, and I'm actually going to do a market sell with the intention that I want it to pick me up and take me down with it down to the 68.20. And I don't have a stop in here, and I did that on purpose. Once it picks me up, paper trading is slow. Be mindful. So I'm going to
How
add
y'all
my
doing?
stop. Yeah,
No, I was just speaking. I was saying, how y'all doing? I'm just running late. I had to get my dad some breakfast.
that was nice of you. Where's my breakfast?
You probably had it already. My dad pisses me off. It's just like he timed it perfectly every time. I think it's the time change though, because he used to get up a little earlier. But ever since the time change, 11 o'clock is the time he get up. I'm like, why are you getting up so late? I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I put my stop in, although it's on the wrong side. So let me do that again. I need to fix this so I can see what I'm doing here. It's staying below the 9. I'd like it to stay that way, although given the two candles, the last two candles, it looks like it could break through, so I'll be watching that closely.
This, this is MCL.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna do it again. I don't typically do my stops this way, but not usually. That's why I keep going the opposite direction. Now I want it to go. There we go.
And would you mind going over how you added a stop there?
Oh,
If you
sure,
have,
absolutely.
thanks.
Absolutely. Yep. So we'll just let this do its thing. It's not a big deal at this point. What I could do is I could switch it, right? So since it's going to the upside, I want it to stay above the 9. Since it decided to switch on me and I was too busy trying to put in my stop. So let's give it this last 10 seconds and see what it does, and I'll switch it around. 5 more seconds. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm gonna let this pick me up. And I didn't put a stop in, right? So how do I set that up? You go to under your orders and position. It says orders position, order entry. You'll click on position. You'll click on the 3 dots. You'll click close position, or you'll hover over close position. Close in order entry. So I'm going to the upside here, right? So I want it to sell normal. So I want this to be red. I need to change my order from market to stop, and you adjust this where you want your stop to be. This is the only time I'll move my stop, but I'll move it down a few cents, place some simulated order, and then I'll move it up according. That is how you place a stop on paper trading.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. And so if you're taking a short and you're putting it in, you'll do the opposite. So instead of it being green, it'll be red. And I can show you the reverse of that too. So I'm just coming in here to do a quick scalp, right? Like my intention here, knowing that this is to the downside, is I need to be paying real close attention to the direction it's going. If you do like what Coach shows us, like how he does it, he moves his up above 1 to 2 ticks. I don't typically do that. I usually give it a little breathing room for this reason only, because it's going to stop me out. So it's like you saw that it stopped me. Well, that's fine, right? No big deal. I'd like to typically give my stuff a little bit more breathing room. Let me see this. Let me get some stuff, like so many things open. There we go. I typically like to give myself a little bit more breathing room, for the sake of just how I trade and how quickly I get in and out of things. So let me throw a couple more lines on. We are coming back down to the 9. So I'm going to look to see for another entry point here. Most likely to the downside if it doesn't break, if it doesn't bounce back to the upside. So I'll wait patiently and look for some sort of general confirmation over here on the L2 if you choose to use the L2 for that purpose. The 9 is roughly sitting at 68.37. Because of where it's sitting here, I'm going to give it a moment. I'm not looking to get in here and get my face chewed off, right? Like that's not the point of me getting in here. Mm. Coming back down to the 9 here, I'd like to see it hold this 9. If it can hold this 9 to the upside, I could take a quick scalp. I'm gonna have my finger or my trigger ready here on the buy market to potentially catch it to the upside, or I'll just wait patiently to see what kind of confirmation it gives me.
In the TikTok live chat, Golden Bullet Driver asks, "Will you be trading futures on Friday?"
I will be. There will be no live on Friday though. The hours are shorter for Friday, so I will be. I will join pre-market crew and I will do my daily trading like I do, but there won't be a live. Great question.
Market's open. There's money to be made.
Yeah. Yeah, and so futures will open Thursday, so Thanksgiving at 7 p.m. Markets will close early Friday at 1 p.m.
I can't believe they don't give them computers a chance to rest their little circuit breakers on a holiday. They make them work at night.
And if y'all trade currencies, the market they don't close for Thanksgiving. They close 2 days out the year. I think futures is pretty much the same. Christmas and New Year's Day. That's the only day that they close, right? Futures market as a whole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but your broker doesn't allow trading. That's the problem in the United States.
Oh,
Let's put it that way, right? You
yeah,
can Yeah, I'm sure Europe don't care. It's our Thanksgiving, right?
right.
We're the ones that shut down. Well, and the futures, management shuts down, so that pretty much does shut everybody down, right?
Yeah. But on those days, like Thanksgiving Day, if the U.S. bank is closed, it's be low volume. But we're in weird times right now. I ain't never seen the US dollar go this high since I've been trading, you know.
Yeah.
It's been this high before, but not since I just only been trading like 2 years and something. So this is the highest I done seen it.
I didn't look at it today. It was at 106 at one point.
Yeah. I don't know if it I know it broke the resistance, but I don't know if it held over it. I don't think it did, or if it's coming back to make a retest or something because all the dollar pairs starting to turn and go back up now. So if they going up, then that means the US dollar turned around or coming back to retest the breakout one. I don't know. Let me take a look at it.
That, ladies and gentlemen, it is Ralph, who is an ADT member, and he's pretty well versed on anything's currency. Again, we are not financial, tax, or investment advisors, but if you have a question, we'll try to answer.
Yes, we will. Yes. Yep. So just watching crude oil again, just looking for a quick, I'm looking for a quick scalp. I could wait down here, down at the 9, or I guess what is this? This is the 21 to see if it's going to pop or drop below this. My guess it's going to consider coming back down to some other critical levels that we've had in the past. The L2 is a little heavy in my opinion on both sides, so it's really hard to say what it's going to do. And this is one of those instances where you have choices, right? You can either get in and wait in the weeds, or you can catch a pop off of one of the indicators. It's really just personal choice. Starting this bad boy, though, is your best bet to have a decent entry.
Yeah, entry's everything. That's where you make your money.
Yes,
By being
yes, it
patient
is.
and waiting for a proper setup.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the US dollar did come back in the channel, Mark. Yeah, currencies is my jam. My bad. I had when you was talking, I had my darn mic muted and I was just sitting there talking. It didn't know. But yeah, currencies is my jam. The US dollar, like it came down. That's what I expected it to do. Using it whenever it get to a support and resistance, it usually
So good.
come back in the range. So that don't mean it's gonna stay in there. It might just come down there, find support, and then just break out like I call it a spaceship. Whenever it break out of a range, because when something break out of a range, it's just out of there. It's gone. It ain't coming back. Yeah.
I got a question for you, Ralph. Let's catch you off guard here. I don't know if you can answer this or not. If you can't, that's no problem. When there is conflict somewhere in the world, more than just saber rattling, uh, is any, to your knowledge, is one market affected more so than another one, or do all the markets pretty much show the same kind of reaction?
So they show pretty much the same kind of reaction. The currencies, they, from what I understand, currencies, what moves them the most is stocks, and like futures trades and stuff like so. If that's that like that produce more money than any other asset because of how much traders go in and out, and how many shares change hands, and if you're doing futures contracts. So it's just like the currency market mostly feeds off the rest of the markets. And I noticed it on days like, okay, you know how the video was going crazy, probably about what, a couple of months ago, back whenever it was like when this first started to run. I noticed that like on this one that we had to wait like 2 days for the stuff to settle, so it was kind of staggered. And like when the video make like a new high and it goes crazy through the night, the currencies will be kind of choppy and consolidated, but then it's just like the next day they'll start moving real smooth and get the trend really good. And that's because they gotta settle all those stock market sales that they made with Nvidia, because Nvidia was moving like the whole market at one time. It was one of the most heaviest traded
Yeah.
assets, So
All
yep.
right. Thank you.
Do like the quick move. I do like, even though the uh, currency is pretty slow, I do like the movement that it has. And if you chart it properly and you're confident in that, you can have pretty big gains. So I like that too.
Yeah, that's what I like about it the most. So I'm not like a fast scalper, and that's not my strong suit. So, and when trading, we kind of like lean to what we good at in order to build our confidence, right? And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm a little slower, and I like that. Plus, I like to stay in trades longer. But what I like the most about currency pairs is once they start to get on a trend, like that's it. They're gonna keep going that way forever. You be like, this thing has been going up for a long time, and they also do the same thing when they get in the channel too. Sometimes if you just trade one currency, like I just can't do it. I don't know. Lately, I've been just trying to do EU, and I was telling Arlo, I was like, I'm gonna be the David of EU, like how David is with Apple. I can't do
Mhm.
it. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it because in currencies, man, one of them things you might not get a good trade for a long time. They have their days. I guess it has to be good news or something. So yeah, I got to keep a couple different tickers going.
So I'm watching the indicators still, right? Like to potentially get in here for a good scalp. Now I could have, because I have this channel, I could have been picked up right here if I was paying attention, which I was not. But I am paying attention to the direction that we're going here so that I can make a good identifier as to making sure that I get in properly if I should feel the need to sit and wait. Something that I've noticed with currency is you have to pay very close attention what direction it's going, because how slow it is, it will rip your face off. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, I'm in the Canadian dollar one right now, and I've just made $45 just on one candle, basically.
Yeah.
Got a huge candle going up right now, so I don't know what I'll end up with.
So yeah, Canadian dollar. I forgot about them. Canadian dollar just been crashing. I'm talking about. It was one night in the evening, which was shocking. It was this week too. A couple of days ago, I think it was Monday. Like they just had a massive drop. I was just like, what? What is that candle at 6 o'clock in the? It was right at the market open, the opening morning range breakout, and it was in the evening. And that's counter to what I told you. You know what I mean? Like I was like Canadian dollars and New York session peso. That's why it was so odd to me to do that at like 6:30. I think it was like 6 o'clock. Whatever time the exchanges open up. That first candle was like a big move down. I was like, wow.
In the
But
TikTok, oh, I'm sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, did y'all see MES last night made a new high? I don't know if it went higher, but no, I know it didn't go higher. Unless it went higher when I was asleep during the pre-market or something. I know like at around about 8 o'clock, I think it was, MES made a new high. And then but it just quickly sold off. I don't think NQ made a new high, but it went up also. They had a
I
lot of
do here.
volatility in the market last night.
Hmm?
Yeah.
In the TikTok live feed chat, Golden Bullet, he says, with options, you want fast moves in your favor. Does it have to be fast like that?
I don't know. Honestly,
No.
I didn't do much of anything the uh, with options. What I can tell you, like from a momentum standpoint, I like to see momentum. I like to see something moving in a general direction for me to get into it. And while it's great that we don't have to that we don't have to worry about the Greeks, you know, you don't want to sit in here either when the paint's dry. So some of these, I don't know if I can find one like this one, for example. This is some slow. This is slow. This is the yen. So you're going to be sitting here for a hot minute waiting for some of these. So I don't want to sit here and wait around for this. I want to be where the action's at. So even if I'm doing currency, I still want some action, right? The same if I'm in like the MESs and the NQs of the world. I want action.
Yeah, that's correct. Especially if they start to go like in a
I
sideways
want
channel.
action tonight, satisfaction tonight.
That was a good one. At first, I thought the radio came on. That was pretty good.
For a brief second, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I thought the radio came on. Hey, she was right. If it's already consolidating, I don't enter. If I'm in it and it start consolidating, I tighten up my stop. Depends on the trade, but when that thing starts to go sideways, whatever a rule of thumb is whatever side it came up from. Like if it's going up, it came from the upside, it's probably gonna go to the upside, but that's just a rule of thumb. That's not all the time. So if it starts consolidating, it could rip your face off. And then even though if it push up, most of the time, if it goes into a consolidation before it get ready to push up, you'll see like a candle come down and just take a whole bunch of stop losses and then push up. And that be the move that Ange sits and waits for every time. I be watching your trading, Ange. I've been doing that in the stock market lately. Since
Yeah.
I ain't been
And
trading
it,
stocks. So I just
yeah, and it does.
basically, oh, go ahead.
It doesn't matter if it takes 10 minutes to go up one tick or whether it takes 1 hour to go up, 10 ticks
Yeah,
or one tick. The value is the same. There's no increase in value by a rapid ascent or descent. It's by ticks. Every time it moves
that's
one
right.
tick, it's at a fixed value all the way for each and every tick. And it's the same value whether it goes up or whether it goes down.
Hmm.
It's your value, there's no, options do reward you on those type of
Yeah,
gamma
they do.
candles. They can also, when they go against you, it does just takes your money real quick. So there's advantages and disadvantages to both.
Yeah.
See, I looked away and was reading questions and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. That's why I don't trade with real money in here while I'm training.
But yeah, that's all I've been doing for my stock trading. I ain't been doing no stock trading really. So what I do, Ange, is the same thing that you do. I just wanted to run it by you to see if I'm correct. Right? I do the same thing you do, but on a higher time frame. So like at the end of the night, when I get ready to lay down, the stock market, the pre-market, it be like getting on and whatever ticker it is I'm doing. Like I did it with Ford, I did it with Riot, I did it with Space because Coach called that out. Well, Space was really fast. One day, Coach was like, "You could do this with Space or whatever." He was talking about options, but I got in Space and that shit was just one day. But anyway, when I wake up, I look at it and then I just go into the L2 and find like the biggest order that's down there. Most of the time, I'll be like, "Man, it's too far away from there." But most of the time, it comes down there and trades and pick me up. Like when I wake up and before I come in here, I check. I'll be like, "Oh, my shares got picked up," and then I just found like the biggest order on the top and put a limit sale, and then it sells off. And it's just like I ain't even got to look at it or nothing. Sometimes it take like I think the longest I ever held was like 3 or 4 days,
Oh, wow.
and that was just because of Riot. I had got some more shares at the top because crypto was going crazy. and that wasn't because of the strategy. But I just put in the large. I go find a large order, put the like 10 shares order or whatever. I'm not getting a lot, just get like 5 or 10. It trades down there, picks it up, and then it'll take like 2 days, of holding it, and then it goes up there. And I just do it with stocks that's like with big names, Ford. Um, I did it with SoFi, so I don't do no. I do like companies that are cheap, but that's been working. That's been working. All L2, really no counter action. So
Very nice. Yeah, good job.
mhm.
I like to come in here and I know I go back and forth. Like right now I'm sitting on the 32nd, more so because I'm looking for micro movements here, and because the L2 looks like it does and where it's at below the 200. So, and I have a level here that I guess I don't have a level. It was my cursor. I was gonna say I have a level here, but because it's sitting here on the 200, I'm watching it closely because for me, I'm curious now. Like, is it gonna stay around? Is it gonna hover around the 200? Is it gonna continue to drop? Like, that's what I'm looking for next. Is I'm looking for the next big move that may happen. Rafa, so if you go down here to where it says interval, you'll see an arrow next to your very last interval you have down here at the bottom. If you click it, it'll give you different options to choose from. And I have a few selected already, but you can pick the ones you want. So like I said, I scalp on the 1 minute or the 30-second typically, and I'll sit in a trade on a 2 minute or a 5 minute if it's really slow and I see good opportunity for a good trade or something like that. I'll do that too. Sometimes
Okay,
you
Andrew, I
can
have a
see a
question
bigger
for you.
picture. Sure, what's up?
I subscribe to the L2, but I can't seem to find it to put it on my screen.
Awesome. That's great. So go to right click. Let's see. Right click on one of your uh, either right click somewhere where you can add widget, or go up here to the top to the add widget. Looks like a briefcase.
Okay.
So click add widget and go to order book. It's under quotes.
Under quotes, order. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
You bet. So sometimes you can get a better viewpoint of what's coming, whether it's a double bottom or double top. If the trend is a little bit different, like you can see it on here a little bit clear on higher time frame. If I get real spicy, I'll have a chart down here with the higher time frame of what I'm looking at, and then I'll
Oh,
have the one that I'm actually trading on here.
good idea.
Yep.
I'm still trying to figure out the L2. I watched Nate's videos. I kind of struggle with that.
Sure. So if I go down to, I'll do like a crude oil. Crude oil is typically a little bit slower in my personal opinion in viewing and how to view it. So don't mind all my lines because I do trade this regularly, so I have lines
Yeah.
everywhere. But so what I'm essentially looking for, if I want to wade in the weeds, right? And that's what my intention is. I go and first I identify which direction this is going. So you can do it one of two ways. I can either look at the chart here on Webull, or I have another chart on another one of my computers um, that I can look at on TradingView. And that'll tell me just by looking at it, like what it's doing. So it's still going to the downside. So I know that if I'm going to scalp this or put a toe in, I got to be super careful. My best bet would be to put in an entry, so up in the clouds. So I would pick I would pick like the 68-45, or if I wanted to really wait a while, or pick something a little bit closer for a quicker scalp to wait to put in a limit order. So if I were to set this up, it's starting to curl up here. The 9 is, which is sometimes an indication that it's going to go to the upside, even if it's just real quick. And how you can test your thoughts, right, without putting in something here. You can go back in history and look on whichever chart you're looking at as to what it's done when it's done that curling. So we've seen it do it here, here, and so on. So you get the point, right? So we're making identifiers and kind of teaching our mind to look for these little tricks. So even though I know that this is going to the downside, I could still do a quick scalp by waiting in the weeds with the intention of getting picked up and doing getting a quick pop. Also watching the 9 though, that it looks like it's starting to level out while I'm sitting here on the 5-minute. If I go down to the 1 minute, it looks slightly different, right? So while it looks like it's in the middle here, it's still slightly to the downside, but it also looks like it could be switching here any moment if it keeps going the direction that it's going. So you need to be really careful when you come in here if you're going to do any kind of scalping or potentially holding a little bit longer, because it could go the opposite direction that you were originally hoping that it would go to. So while we wait to see what kind of choice or decision this is going to make, Rafa, you asked, how do you add the 30-second? If you click on this triangle right here next to the interval, so here it's interval, you go to the end to this upside down triangle, click on it under the 30-second. You can either click it, or like I've added the 15. You can click it that way. So click the 30. And now I have the 15-minute on here, which is fine. I'll ignore it for now. Actually, you know what? Let me change it to the 15-minute. There we go. So that's how you add that 30-second. So even with all my lines, I can see where it's sitting here. So 15-minute, that's what it looks like. 2-minute, we've got some pretty good, my lines are pretty good here. A general idea, right? Like it's sitting in this channel. If it keeps going like it is, like looks like it might keep going down unless we get a big pop. We're a day before a holiday, so things might start slowing down here pretty soon. So I'm looking over here at this for maybe a possible quick scalp. I'm below the 9. It's a little heavy. It's a little heavy on the bid side. I could do a potential market order and catch this if I wanted. Or I could put a limit order in somewhere around, what is that, 60, 68, 38, 68, 39 area. Even the 68, 36. So if I put an order in here, so 68, 38, yeah, okay. So let's do that. Let's do a limit order, 68.38. So my intention is that it's going to pick me up at 68.38. Okay. And it's going to take me down with it. That's what I want it to do. Keep in mind, this is paper trading, so it's not instant like what it would be if you were to put this order in with your live account. Rafa, that's a good question. So I've actually seen people have their charts set up where they just do ticks. They don't do the monetary value. So it's personal preference, but I have seen it. I kind of like it myself. So one of the things about waiting in the weeds or waiting up in the clouds in this direction is you have to be mindful that you could get missed. And because these are so erratic, sometimes we need to be careful that we're paying attention to that. So what we don't want to have happen is to have it come pick us up and go the opposite direction. So at this point, I would cancel out of this order and I'd regroup. And I would do it again. So make sure we set up our stop loss. And let's see. Let's go back over here. And I actually need to make this bigger so I can turn on my stop loss and make my stop loss wider. And so my stop loss is pretty large. I wouldn't recommend you do that until you're confident in your skill set. But I have mine set up so that I can get in and out of these and bypass some of these wicks. So looking at the L2, I can see that this is pretty heavy on the bid side, that it's going to continue to drop, potentially, barring that we don't get any massive orders on the ask side. Here's confirmation the next wall is at 68.24, which is where my line is. I want to see it break down that line.
So it's going to continue to go down because the bid side is heavier. There's more.
Yep. You'll start to notice that with screen time.
Yeah. Excuse me.
But we're coming down to this triple bottom, so we got to be cautious and careful with what we're looking at. I am sitting on the 2-minute. We're still heavy on the bid side. So I'm always paying attention. Not only am I paying attention to how the candles are reacting, I'm paying attention to the order book or the L2, and then I'm paying attention on if this is going to reverse. Now, reminder, I am sitting on the 2-minute. This will look different if I switch it to a 1.
Are you
So
usually on a 1 because you're more of a scalper?
Yes. Yep. 30-second or 1 minute is typically where I stay. So we put an order in at 68.37, then if you noticed, it changed. It missed me, so I'll regroup. You can really see the chop here on the 30-second. And go back to the 1. For real-time data, I have the L2 that gives me 10 lines. So it looks like this. It's the $40 one. If you don't use the L2 to do any trading, this one should suffice, or it also is listed here. And you wouldn't have to have order book up here at all. But I do have the big one. Slowed way down. Hmm. It has slowed way down. So I can continue to sit and wait in the weeds, or I could do a market order to get picked up for it to continue to take me. It's riding right there on the 9.
So when you say it's slowing way down, are you talking about the volume?
Yeah, and I can tell just by how slow this
Just the
is moving.
candle.
It's not very erratic. Yep. And then I can also tell by looking at the L2 too. If the L2 starts to slow down and almost has like these pauses, it's
Yeah.
slowing way down. Yeah, Rafa. So make sure you know what your risk tolerance is, right? Know what each contract is, what the size is, and know their tick sizes. And then make sure you have a stop loss in place that supports the tick movement that you and your account can handle. Also being cognizant to the fact that you could get wicked out if your stops are too tight. So there's lots of little factors to consider when we're getting in and out of these future trades. Still sitting down here at 68.25 with the hope that it'll come down and get me. It doesn't look like it's going to. Again, it's fine, right? Like I can regroup and get back in, or I can wait. I don't always necessarily pay much attention to what my profit's going to be because I'm typically going in really heavy, and I'm usually in like an MES or forex where one or two ticks is more than God's plenty. And I'm in pretty heavy, so I don't pay much attention to what my profit looks like. Now, should I? Of course. Could I have better monetary scalps if I did? Absolutely. Why do I choose not to? Because I don't want to overcomplicate this any more than I have to. Still using the L2 to help me make decisions, right? Which there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody does it slightly different. I do notice that while I typically will use the L2 out of habit, I don't absolutely have to. It's just nice sometimes to have some confirmation. It's like watching paint dry sometimes, guys. So we can move on to
Huh.
another one that has a bigger spread and more volatility. Oh, it picked me up, of course, right as I want to get out of it, which is fine. So what I'm watching for, granted it's below the 9, right? And I am to the upside. I really would like to see this come up and clip with 68.27 or the 68.31. I'd like to see it bounce to the upside. That's the hope anyways, right? I'm not going to stay in this too terribly long because it's below the 9. But if I can catch it, that'd be really great. Funny Rain, this is Weeble. Yep. It's breaking through that level that I've created. Well, while we watch this to see if it decides to pop back to the top here. Welcome everyone who's new coming in here. It's good to see all of you. We got quite a few people over here on TikTok as well as YouTube and all the other social media platforms. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. My name is Ange. I am with American Dream Trading and I am the futures mentor. So it's good to see all of you. Thank you for coming in. I would encourage you all to continue to put in your questions. It could be anything from setup to how do you do this, so on and so forth. So don't hesitate. Come in here and ask the questions. They're greatly appreciated. We do have some Black Friday sales going on. Okay. Those Black Friday sale that we have currently going on is 50% off all annual memberships for the first year. Use code BF50. Use code BF50. Go to AmericanDreamTrading.com. Click on pricing. Select the click here for more packages at the bottom. It's a giant button. Get registered and we'll see you over there at all of our VIP trainings that we have for those various memberships that we have available. Futures is also listed on there. Futures is a great program. Obviously, it's new to American Dream Trading. It's a great program for those people who have small accounts, who have, in my personal opinion, who have at least a general idea how to trade, whether you're within the community and you do the 2-minute EWO, or if you scalp. It's a great opportunity for you to grow a small account. So come on over. We will welcome you with open arms. Come in with an empty cup. Learn a little something. You might surprise yourself. You might surprise yourself. MYM, go over to AmericanDreamTrading.com. We do have various options over there. So yes, go over to www.americandreamtrading.com. And under pricing, there is a free Discord that we have, which is a great place for new people to start. And then we do have the 7-day free trial or a monthly plan. You can go in there as well. That's also listed. It is a recurring payment, so keep that in mind. So MYM, go over to AmericanDreamTrading.com to get signed up. Mm. So stop up here. Keep in mind, guys, make sure you make sure you don't have your stops still on after you've gotten out of a trade, so you don't get picked up. Yes, we are using Weeble. All right, I'm gonna check on something else because this one's boring me. MES. Oh, the chart. That chart is so annoying. I'm gonna do something with it. I can't stand it. Let's clear these lines. Oh, slow the roll a little bit here and just throw on something down here where we're at. Uh, so I'm just gonna draw some support lines and resistant lines here just to have something a little bit smaller than what we had before. Because what I had before was it was getting pretty insane. So I just put in just a couple lines just to get me started on the 5-minute. Go over here to the 2-minute, break it down a little bit further just to narrow down some channels. So it's bouncing off this 60, 16, 22, which is also about where the 200 is. 60, 60, 15, 15 is about where the 200 is, bouncing to the downside. MES respects the 9 pretty nicely. So if you're familiar with your indicators, the EMA 9 is what a scalper uses to scalp, obviously. And you can justify a good scalp by doing so. I do this on a regular basis. It's one of the many reasons why I've been successful as I have been, because I pay attention to the 9 and the 21 and the 200 and then VWAP pretty closely. So I just put a few lines on here just to give me some grace. Let's see what we can do here. Looking at the 9. Put a chart down. I'm gonna, where could I put this so it's a little bit bigger so I can see chart there. This back out. I want to make sure I can see my positions. Order. I'm constantly moving these things around. I will never be satisfied with what this looks like, I tell you. All right. Chart looks a little bit better here. What's this? I'm going to change the number on it to a different one because I'm going to change the time frame which I'm looking at here. Let's see. I want to. Where is the time? Why did I not see it?
It's below on the bottom.
I did hear you very, very faintly. What did you say?
You're hiding it on the bottom. You gotta squint your chart smaller.
Look at that.
So
All
I
right.
got a question for the
Sure.
for the crew. Anybody in here use Weeble Pay? That Weeble, what is it? Weeble Pay for the crypto trader? I just noticed that they on TradingView now, so I might have to switch to them because
I
I go
haven't. I don't
hooked
use
up with
it.
trading. Yeah, I don't know. I got to do my research on that one. I might make the change over. Aaron, you ever
Don't,
use it? Nobody use it? Nobody?
no,
No, I
you
don't.
really don't want to do crypto on this
Weeble?
platform.
Okay.
It's very difficult to move around and different things. So anyway, just do your own research
Oh,
on that.
thanks. Well, I trust you.
Write down
It
the
just saved me the time. Shit. I mean, I don't have
Ralph.
to do research. Huh?
Write down these two tickers, CBTX and
Hold on.
NBTX.
Hold on. Okay. Go ahead. C.
CBTX, yeah, CBTX
Okay.
and MBTX. They're going to become available December 2nd. They're going to be Bitcoin spot. Going to be probably something
Oh,
you
for
could
the
trade.
futures?
I think
Oh,
so.
spot market.
I got to do some more research on it. I'm just
Okay, so
looking
they're
into
gonna be a
them.
spot market.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's gonna be
It's
it's
good to
gonna be a
know.
spot market. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, December 2nd they'll be available. I'm gonna do some more research. I'll let you guys know.
Oh, that's next week.
Yes, it is.
So I do like to do some quick scalping. I have obviously maneuvered this a little bit, so I have a 1 minute chart at the bottom and a 30-second chart at the top. One of my favorite things to do, I do this with MES and I do this with others as well, but MES preferably for a quick scalp. I like to catch this either above or below the 9 and catch the quick pops. Now, typically I need complete concentration when I do this, so I'm not going to just allow the dead air, but here I'd be watching closely to the 9 and catching these candles. And I can do this with other tickers too if it respects the 9, and you can do that by looking at them yourself. And if you're really good at scalping, you can get in here and scalp these candles. William, you have a question?
Yeah, hi, Ange.
Hi.
Happy Wednesday and happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. If would you mind talking just a few minutes about the order book, the level 2,
Sure.
and the bid and the ask? So the bid are contracts that people want to buy, and it lists the price that they're wanting to buy it at, right? And
Mhm.
the asks are contracts that they're wanting to sell. So how does that relate to, or how do you integrate that with your actual trading decisions?
Sure. So the first thing first that I pay attention to is I want to know which way this is trending. So I'm going to pay attention. Can you guys hear dogs barking in the background?
Negative.
Excellent, thank God.
No.
Um, I'm going to pay attention to the direction this is going right out the gate because I want to know for sure before I ever hop into either one of these, either side, since I can do both with my margin account. I want to know for sure what direction this is going. So I always have trading view up on one screen and then I have my Weeble on another. This is still trending to the downside. So I know that I need to be super careful when I use the L2 to do an option, or not to do an option. When I come in here to either sit with a limit order to get picked up, or if I'm doing a market order right away, I know that I want to most likely pay attention that I'm going to want to do a sell to buy. Okay. So that's really what I'm going to pay attention to begin with, is the trend.
Hey,
And
Ange,
then,
real quick,
yeah.
in Trading View, do you pull up MES?
Yeah, so it's, oh, I guess mine that I have up currently is oil. So let me change that.
So when I pull
Uh,
up MES, I get an MES1 exclamation point, micro, E-mini, S&P 500 index futures. That's what I'm getting.
yes. So yeah, it's going to the upside. I apologize. I had crude oil pulled up on mine.
Well,
So this
it looks
is,
pretty. Okay, sorry.
no, you're good. So
I'll show.
this is going to the upside. So let me regroup here. And let's see. Move my, there we go. Did move this to a different screen so I can see it. That's okay. So what I'm essentially going to do now, right, is I'm looking over at the bid side. If I'm going to put a limit order in and have it pick me up, I'm looking at the order sizes. Okay. So I'm looking to see, okay, where do I want to potentially put a limit order in to get picked up? So I'll look to see what my indicators are, and if they're bouncing, right? Is it bouncing off an indicator? Is it between a couple of my critical levels that I've charted out just by looking at the candles? Has there been a reversal at all? Like what am I looking at here? So I could see that this is coming off the 21, and then here is my 9, this blue. It looks like it looks like it's trying to sit above it a bit. So I'd like to see that. If I come over here to the L2, see the green and the red, the chart or the graph that goes across. On the ask side, if I'm going to look at this 6017 is a good support level. I'm sorry, a good resistance level. I can come over here and I can throw a line on here over here if I want to. I'll move this one up a little, but I can use that as resistance. So a good resistance line. Mind you, that this could change. Orders could be thrown in here and change it completely. So I don't rely on it 100%, but it's a good indication where it could pop to and then come back down potentially. So since I've identified that 6017 is a good resistance, you can do the same thing on the bid side for support. 6013 to 601250. Like this is a good indication that these are good levels right here where support would be. So 60, what is that, 601250 or so? 601250, 601250 sitting right around, I could make it exact. It's not that important to me that I don't keep it exact. But this is a good area for this. The 601250 is good. It's a good confirmation. I've got a couple touches here and there for a good indication. So I'm going to leave that alone. And now I can watch my indicators. And I can use this in conjunction with that for an opportunity to put a limit order in. So say I want to wait, say here at the 601350, or here 601250, 25, 6012, 25. I do have options over here. Something else that I look at too, but with looking at this, I can tell just by looking at the L2 with as much screen time as I've had. This will tell me if there's going to be a potential drop. If one side is heavier than the other. Well, what does that mean? Well, I like to look at graphs. It just comes with my many years that I worked in finance. I can look over here and tell you that it looks like that the bid side is heavy. If the bid side is heavy and there's these little graphs are making this pretty solid green color, that it's going to continue to drop, meaning it's heavy. If I see that's doing that same thing on the ask side and it's very heavy on the ask side and not heavy on the bid side, there's a good chance we're going to see this run into the upside. If it looks pretty similar across the board, a couple things are going to happen. We're going to see this slow down. We're going to see a slowdown where it's not going to flicker the back and forth red green. And we're going to see this sometimes, in some cases, do some consolidation in the general area because it's trying to decide back and forth which way it wants to go. And then you'll pay attention and you'll see that there will be a drop or a pull, either a pullback or it'll go to the upside just by looking at the L2. Now I can do the same thing with watching the candles, but I do watch the L2 a little bit more because I've had more practice.
Yeah. So is it true or not true that the bid side is basically support and the ask side is basically potential resistance? I meant
Yes.
bid is potential support, ask is potential resistance.
Yes.
Okay. So why, if you're heavy over on the bid side and you're expecting a red candle or the price to drop?
So let me show you.
Okay.
If I wait to get into this, let me see if I can get this to pull back a little bit. It may not do it because it's popping off the 55. It's coming down here to that 60, 11, 21. It's popping down here. And we're sitting on the 1 minute. Put a limit order here. So I know I don't have a stop, right? And that's okay. I'm going to use this for an opportunity to just kind of walk you through. So I have a limit order in here with the intention that I want this to come down and pick me up at support. That's what my intention is here. Now, mind you, this is going back up. This happens. So even though this tells us that this is a good support level, it can move. If orders get put in above me, it's going to push it up. And if we
So
chew
was
through
there
those,
a bid line for 60-10 even? I didn't see it.
it was there very briefly.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry to
No, you're
interrupt you,
good.
Ange.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, it was there
Okay.
really briefly. And you
Okay.
can move these up too. So if you see that, if you've got quick hands to move this up, like I could move this up to 60, 11, 25, right? Which is now at that level that we drew up earlier. And I can wait for this to come back down and pick me up. With the anticipation that there's a good chance that there's going to be an order that's going to be above me, or orders are going to be put above me that's going to pick it up from there too. And you'll notice in pre-market, this works a little bit more candidly than midday. Midday, I typically would need to sit closer up here, like 3 lines or so, to get picked up respectfully. Sometimes you can wait in the weeds down here and it'll come down and pick you up. A lot of times what I'm essentially waiting for is if I were to wait 60-12, let's move this up to 60-13. See if it'll pop down. Yeah. See, you don't want to chase it either, which is essentially what I'm doing, just to try to show you what it happens when it gets picked up and you watch the L2. It's above the 200. It's above the 9. It's above the 21. Now, if you look over here on the ask side, it's heavy on the ask side and it's light on the bid side. This is an indication that it's going to continue to move to the upside. It's light on the bid side. It's heavy on the ask side. Coming up here to a critical level of 60, 15, 44. I'd like to see it break through this 60, 15, 44. I'd like to see it clear this 60, 16, 50, and I can reverse it and write it back down. 60, 17 is where we have resistance. 60, 17 is right about this point right here. So if we wanted to reverse that, let's see if I can get an order in here before it hits that 60, 17 potentially. I'm going to put a limit order in. I'm aware that I don't have a stop. I may even be good moving this down a little bit. It may not go above this 60, 15. Looks like it has a little bit of hesitation here at that 60, 15, 44. But we'll hold on for a second. It isn't going to hurt nothing to wait. Essentially what I'd like to see happen is I would like to see this candle itself get up here to the 17. I'd like to see the wick then pick me up, take me down with it. That's essentially what I'm looking for. Let's see if it happens. With paper trading being as slow as it is, it could very well pick me up and take me down with it. But because of how slow paper trading is, the skill that it takes to get out of it fairly quickly for a good profit is a little bit more challenging on paper trading than it is if you trade with real money. Real money, it's
Hey,
instant. Yeah.
Ange, can I ask you another question? Do you
Sure.
find that, let's say, VWAP in TradingView right now is different than the VWAP in Webull? I mean, significantly. Let's see, your VWAP says 6022. Oh no, it's not. Okay. My colors are different. That's on my trading view is different than on your Webull. So that's why
Oh, gotcha.
never
Yeah, my
mind.
colors are different too. Now that you say that, my colors are different as well. All right, so now we're looking at the ask side. It should pick me up here any second. So I'm on the ask side, right? Now that it's getting closer, and it may not get me after all. We'll keep an eye on it. I want the wick to pick me up and take me back down with it. 60, 17 is still good resistance, but it's not liking it. Do you see that? Like it's pulling back a little bit. Well, now we're coming back up. Let's see what it decides to do. We're still above the 9.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt you again, Ange, but with stocks or even options, we would want to be just a little bit below 6017, right? Or
Yeah.
not? And is
No, yep.
okay.
And it
But with
works that way
futures,
over here too.
okay, all right. Oh, there you
So now it should pick me up, right? And paper trading is damn slow. So now that I'm in that, now what I want it to do is I want it to clip there, and I'd like to see it drop. But as you can see, it is pretty heavy on the ask side, which tells me that it could potentially keep going up. But I want it to drop. I truly do. I want it to come back down.
I wanted to go up.
Are you actually in it?
Yeah. I got in at the bottom though, so I'm good.
Oh, that's good. was gonna say, I hope you didn't get in right there.
No. I got in when it bounced off the 6,000 area.
Nice job. So essentially what I was hoping for was that would turn around. And it's not in my favor. At this point, just by looking at the L2, I really need to be paying attention. The L2 is telling us that it's going to continue to go up if we don't have any more crazy orders come in here. But it's got to hold this too. What I'd like to see it happen is I'd like to see this come back and clip the 9. I'll have my trigger ready just in case. Fearful Giver, my name is Ange. Good to meet you. I cover futures in the afternoon for American Dream Trading. See, quick scalp coming down to the 9. Oh, but then I actually hit the wrong button. That's awesome. Yeah, I bet I can't get out of it. That's okay. I'll be ready to.
You just confused me. I'm on the
I know.
32nd. That's why I'm like, that's
Well,
not
and I
done.
hit
It's
the
not
wrong.
done.
I hit the wrong button too. I hit sell instead of buy.
I wasn't looking. I'm just listening. So I'm looking at my screen. Oh,
So this looks like it could go up to 60.19. 60.18.50 is a critical level. I would still like to see this sucker come down and get me out of here. I'd like to see it clip 9 again so I can get out of my trade. It's bouncing off that critical level I have here at 60.16.45. I want it to come down here so I can get out of this trade. I am ready to sell. And to get out of this short, I've got my trigger on the buy. Come on, you little hoodlum. I do have a mental stop in place. Again, I know I don't have a stop on, but it's respecting the 9. So I really want it to come down. I don't like the position I'm in on this one. I'm willing to break even just to get out of it. Thank you. And by break even, I mean I'll take my fees and shove it to get back in it here in a minute. Okay. Now that I'm out of that, let me go make sure my stops are on because that's annoying that they're not staying on.
Thanks, Ange. I got to go. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
You as well. So now it's going to drop, of course. Oh, some days I tell you. I'm looking at the other platforms to make sure I'm not missing any questions. So while we watch MES main, let's look around and see what else we got. Good to see all of you over on TikTok. Keep the questions coming. I love seeing that. Thank you. Stocks we're currently looking at. We're looking at MES main, which follows SPY. So keep your questions coming. Thank you very much. Those of you over on YouTube, good to see you as well. Oh, Mark, you're earning your keep today. Look at you go. Oh, goodness. And again, welcome everybody over on Zoom. It's good to see all of you. Thanks for coming in. We are looking at MES main, which follows SPY. Yeah, so Kev, if I'm in here on the support or on the bid side and I'm in an order, I want it to be heavy on the ask side for it to continue to go up. Sure, I'll walk through that here in just a moment. So before I answer some more questions, just a quick station identification. My name is Ange. I'm with American Dream Trading, and I cover the futures education in the afternoons. And you can join Coach in the morning for stock education. He is typically in here at what is that, 8 a.m. I guess it's 9 a.m. My bad. 9 a.m. Eastern, when he comes in here and he does his live, and then I'm in here typically at between 2 and 4 Eastern time. We are doing 4-hour program instead of just the 2, just to get some more viewers out there in social media land. Take a quick moment to thank the moderators for giving your time to come in here and support. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. We do have Black Friday sales going on. The Black Friday sale we have currently going on for this week is the 50% off the memberships that we have out there. You can go to americandreamtrading.com where you can register. You scroll down to the bottom and click on the more packages and select the membership that you're looking for, get registered, and we will see you in our Zooms. Those are the ones that you choose. So come on over. It would be nice to have you. The yeah, Rafa, what platform? I can walk you through it. What platform are you using? Aaron asked you what the platform is that you're using. Are you using Webull or a different platform? Because that'll matter. Okay, so on Webull, add your EMAs. You go up here to the top chart where it says chart and it says indicators. Click on the box for indicators. And this is where you can add them. So you'll want the MA, and you can just click that for now, and I'll show you how to get the right numbers. You'll want the MA, the EMA, and VWAP, and you'll want the super trend too. I'll have to adjust the numbers on that. So click on those first. So you'll want MA, EMA, VWAP, and super trend. Okay. Now, once you've done that, you can go ahead and click on one of these. So click on the MA and click the bolt. Once you do that, you won't need to click out of this until you're done. So make sure you have the MA highlighted. Make sure inputs is highlighted blue. Change your length, the first length here to 200. Change your first length to 200. Click on style, make it blue. So it populates this. Make sure you have the blue checkbox next to the MA200. Make sure the rest of these don't have a checkbox. You don't want any of these. You just want the 200. And then you can change the color to whatever your preference is, the line thickness, and whether you want solid or dotted lines. You can choose that for yourself. Once you've done that with the MA, go to the EMA and just click on it. That's all you have to do. Make sure it's highlighted. Under input, make sure that is highlighted. You're going to want the 21, 55, and the 9. 21, 55, and 9. Click on Style, highlight it blue. Make sure you just have these 3 checkboxed: the EMA 21, the EMA 55, the EMA 9. Do the same thing here. Change the color to your own personal preference. You can do the line thickness here to your own preference, as well as you want a solid line or dotted. You choose. You choose what's best for you. Make sure the rest of these boxes are not checked. So you just want the EMA 21, 55, and 9. Once you've done that, go down to VWAP. Highlight that. Change it to the color that you can recognize. Make sure they're not all the same color. You'll make yourself nuts. Once you've done that, we'll go up to the super trend, which I believe is the only one I have left. So super trend, it's up to you if you decide to have these two, the lines themselves. I don't know why mine are on, but you want just you want just these down here at the bottom. And you'll want to change the length. Length is important. So you're either going to want to have it be 13.1 or 13.2. If you are a 2-minute EWOer, you'll want it to be 13.2. If you're a scalper like myself, you're going to want it to be 13.1. So change this to 13.1 or 13.2 for an EWOer. Style long short. What this does is it just keeps the triangles rather than the lines and the triangles. It starts to look messy when you have too much stuff on here. Says the person that has a million lines. Done. Now you should have your indicators on your Weeble. Rafa, confirm, please. Yes, there's a lot of training out there. Rafa, do you have, what membership do you have? Do you have other memberships with ADT besides Futures? Okay, so you can go one of 2 places, Rafa. Underneath in the Discord, you can go in, the right mouse here. You can go under the Futures tab or under the Education tab, I believe it is. There are Futures under the Futures Lounge. You can go under Futures Videos on Demand. You'll find additional support there for Futures Education. You can also go on YouTube and you can look under the free content the coach has listed. You can sort by list. That will break down the EWO. He's got a ton of things out there. You can go there and look for different stuff for scalping, EWOs, break and holds, all that jazz. It's all on there too, so you can go over to the YouTube and look for that. Or if you want, you can also come over to like the future side and the futures training, and some of those videos are also posted there. It's all up to you, but that's where you're going to find the training. Someone on YouTube asked how to put a stop in. So I do everything on paper trading. Somebody tried to say something and it didn't come through very nicely. Rafa, so we won't have teachers education on Friday, but I would encourage you to join us, or I would encourage you to do some additional training and ask questions in the Discord if you should have any on Friday. Otherwise, we'll see you on Monday. So someone over on TikTok asked, how do you put a stop in or stop loss? So I'll throw one on here for you and show you how to do it. So let me allow it to pick me up a second so I can get it set up. And I'll close that out so I can see what I'm doing here. All right, so I have my order placed, right? So now I need to place a stop. You go down here to positions, the three dots, close position, close in order entry. I'm going to the downside, so I want this to be green. I want it to do my to quantity. I'm going to change market to stop, change the amount. I just click it a few times up just to get something on here. My stop is in place, and now I can move it accordingly. Did you get that? That was kind of fast. And that's how you put a stop in. Yeah, I can go over the EMAs in just a moment again. No problem. All right, so now that I showed you how to do that, let's get out of this trade and I'll show you the EMAs again. All right, so EMA, so if you already have this put up, if you already have this up here, you don't need to click up here again on the top. You can just click on EMA, click on the bolt. EMA is selected. Make sure it's highlighted. Under input, you'll want the 21, the 55, and the 9. 21, 55, and the 9. Go over to style. Under the EMA 21, 55, and 9, change it to the color you choose. Line thickness is up to you, and solid line or dotted line is also up to you. You don't need the rest of these checked, just these 3. Once you've done that, click done, and your EMA should be set up. Yeah, E, Mini, and Spy are the same. No Greeks. Great question. Yep, no problem. Great question. All right, what do we got going on here? Christine, are you having any luck with MES today?
I actually went over to the other one that I was doing the other day, the NASDAQ one, the Q's one.
Thank you.
No, right now I'm not. No, never mind. Right now I'm not. I moved back. I forgot. I was on that one though, and I was doing okay, and then I switched over to this one that you're on, the spy one. And I was thinking of getting off, going to something else, but I'm not sure yet. I mean, it's just riding the 9, so just up and over. My chart looks different than yours. I had to tweak my chart a little bit and figure out why my candles looked so mushed instead of nice and tall, and you know what I mean?
Mm,
It's just my thing on the side. I had to stretch out some, but I wasn't getting the full depth of the trade when I was seeing them that way.
hmm.
And I'm on the 30-second. Oh no, now I'm on the minute. I was on the 30-second. I switched over to check my chart. And
And do you
my
like?
charts, I don't know, it's having a problem. Like when I hover over the buy and the sell, everything's flickering. Do yours do that? Like they're flickering. So like, know what to say. Like there's a short or something somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's weird. Screwed
It
me up
is
at
weird.
first. Yeah, and I got out of it and went back in. How's that? Oh,
Do
got
you
out
use
of
the
it and went back
L2 when you
in, but
scalp often? Do you use the L2 or do you just watch the
I
candles?
don't even have the L2. Yeah, I don't even have the L2 up here. Because I'm just looking at the candle. I'm just doing pretty much a candle at a time.
Yep.
Yeah, real quick. I
Yes.
gotta put it back on the 30-second.
Yep.
I just
I do
like
like
that
that
better.
30-second.
Yeah.
The
I like the
30-second
minute
with the 1
too,
minute.
but
Yep.
yeah, but I'm not looking at the you have it on another. Where do you have the 1 minute though?
I have the 1 minute. Yeah, I'm on the 1 minute on this one right now, but
Yeah,
for training, but I have
yeah,
I have a chart down at the bottom that I will, if I'm
yeah.
trading this, I have it on a different screen.
Right. When I'm doing the 30-second and I'm looking at the 1 minute, I have a chart that looks like coach's chart up, that I have it in the bottom left-hand corner, another chart, and I'm looking at the minute and I'm looking at the 30-second on the top one because that's what I'm trading off of. But right now I'm just trading off I'm just going back and forth, 30-second or 1 minute and looking at them. It depends on how much it's moving, which one I can trade off of. It depends. That's nice. See, I won't even do a full candle. I'm just like in and out.
Mm-hmm.
When I see it, when I go green, I give it a second and then I'm out. So, something just happened here that I'm down $30. I don't know how that happened. I think the flickering. The flickering made me buy the wrong way. That's what happens. Yeah,
That's because
it did that
NQ
last
is
time.
beast. That's why.
No,
NQ.
I'm not on that one right now. I'm on the spy one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was doing it on the other one too, and it's doing. It must be. Oh
That's
God,
a
I hope it's not my computer
when
screen.
the
It's my
candle.
screen, I bet.
Whenever volume come in, the candle start flickering. Is it just a one candle or your candle?
No, I'm not. It's when I hover over like the buy and the sell, like that, those
Oh,
blocks.
okay.
It's flickering. But that's the only spot it's flickering is over those buttons, the buy, sell. Yeah, it's
This is
flickering all
Weeble.
over those. Like it's in
Weeble
and out.
platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can see through it. It's flickering. It's weird. I don't know what the hell it's doing that for though. But it makes me I hit it like it's the wrong one. It did that the
Where's
first time
Mark?
it was
Mark
doing
is
it.
Weeble platform specialist. Where's Mark?
Sounds
With
like
the
a
what?
refresh rate on your monitor.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, I went out and I went back in, shut it down, like not shut it down, but I went out of Webull and I went back in thinking, that would help, but it was doing the same thing. So I thought, I guess I'll just deal with it. I don't know. Yeah.
Christina, mine was doing the same thing earlier. And at
Really?
the top right of the screen, mine is in futures. And I
Yeah.
put it to stocks. I switched it to stocks and options and then back to futures. And that fixed it,
So
if
like
that
switch
makes
it to my
sense.
cash account and then switch it back to
Yeah,
futures.
go to your
Let's
cash
see.
account and then back to futures. See if that.
Yeah, it didn't fix it. No.
Oh,
Hmm. I don't get it. Like your whole thing only hovering over those buttons, right? And it shows the whole square and like see through and it flickers. Is that what yours was doing?
Yeah, my whole turbo trader
Yeah.
was flickering.
It's weird.
Turbo futures.
Yeah, and it made me buy the wrong, like it flickered to where I was on the wrong spot or something. I don't know. Twice that happened.
Huh.
Probably
Yeah, I
just
was
my
just on
fault. User error.
Yeah, I was on paper trading, so I don't know if that
Oh.
makes a
Oh, am I on
difference.
paper trading? I'm not on. I was like, damn it! Don't. I hope I'm not on paper trading. I'm not. 'Cause I was earlier. Am I? No. It'd be a P up there, right? No, I'm on the customized. I'm on. No, I'm on the real chart. That'd be. All right, I can't talk to you people. I'm screwing up.
No screwing up.
Screwing up. I'm done with you people.
All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. I have MES main pulled up on the big screen for y'all to watch. Keep in mind, you scalpers out there, I scalp off the 9. I do the quick pops like Christina. I have it set on the 32nd. Have a field day on paper trading. I will return in a moment.
Bye bye.
Everybody be cool. She'll be back.
We're cool.
Anybody have any questions? Put it in the chat. Open up your mic. And Aaron will be happy to answer them for you.
I've got a
I'm
question.
hungry. You want to make me a sandwich?
Go ahead. What's your question?
I had the L2 pulled up. I'm on paper trading, but it was on SPY. So I went to, how do I say this? I went to group it. So I was on MES main. I went to group it on my group 1 and it just came up order book L1. The L2 disappeared.
Did you pay for the L2?
Yes.
With the futures L2, right?
Right.
You can try closing the widget out and reopen and putting another one in there. That'd be a quick thing you could do. Make sure there ain't something going on there. But
yeah, I did that, and the same thing
view.
happened. It went to the L1.
You could try
go ahead, Aaron.
the second hamburger menu. So the top one, across where it says L1, change your order book settings from order book 1 to order book 2.
There it is. Easy enough. Thank you very much.
We don't even charge extra for that.
Yeah. Thanks.
See, we knew Aaron would know. Aaron knows.
Well, why do you think I said it? Aaron will answer the question.
Aaron did.
There you go. See? Need I say more?
I don't believe these currencies going to the downside. I just don't believe it. I would not be faked into a short trade. The trend is up. So I'm looking for buys only.
And it's still hugging the 9, so
it's about to break the resistance.
Currency you guys looking at?
I've been
on her screen.
On her screen, I think that is MES there.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been trading lately the euro. So I kind of backed away from AU and traded euro for one day. I should have traded AU, but I don't know. The candles are a lot better on EU to me. It just looks better. But they be about what some days AU was better. Some days EU was better. Mark, you said you had traded CAD.
Yeah.
Canadian dollar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like Canadian dollar.
Actually, I think I made some money on that. I can't remember if I traded that this morning. I think I did. Short one. They had like a quick burst.
So Aaron, I don't know if you do this, but I've been doing this. Since I got my Forex account still, the Oanda one. It's real small, so I'll be using that for a Danny toe. Like if I think a trade might go, but it might not go, I'll go put a small position over there just to watch it.
Yeah.
and see what happens. And then once I be like, okay, like you know how Nate buy like one share in the morning in the pre-market. I've been doing that the whole time.
Yeah, I play around with them too as well. Little Danny DeVito's great.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to remember to get out when you got like 50 pips on it.
Yeah. Mark, you should get an Oanda account.
A what?
Oanda account. Forex.
Oh, nah.
You can open up with any amount of money.
Yeah.
You can put
I hear
20
that.
bucks in.
I heard that investing business is dangerous. You lose your money. I'd stay away from that stock market stuff if I was you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. It'd be the same, right? And a little bit, another little bit of lingo to learn.
Well, futures market is a whole lot more better for your so you get better leverage, I guess is the way to say it, because trades cost less, but in forex market you can go extremely small as you want.
Yeah, it's pretty much watch the paint dry now.
Mm-hmm.
Clock hour. Everybody's probably already checked out mentally anyway, if they're still there. All right.
I gotta turn that off. It's just scared the shit out of me. I don't even know what happened. What was that?
All right. Who else has a question?
Oh, that was a forward share. Shout out to my hands training. I didn't know what the hell that was that went off. Like what the hell is I know I don't have no trades on right now. Why? I got picked up. I gotta turn that off. We'll do that right now.
Over there on TikTok live chat, ET. We are not doing crypto. We are doing futures. Tomorrow is a holiday. The markets are shut down. No, there will not be any stock. Not be open tomorrow. I believe the futures will re-engage Thanksgiving evening. I believe at 7.
Oh, look at that. You brought up a notification just by speaking about it.
Yes, I did.
I see that. Yeah, imagine that. Tell me it ain't listening. Uh-huh. That's what that little bell thing's for, huh?
You guys hold on the fort. Did you scare everybody away?
Yeah.
Mark did.
Aaron was mean to him.
Probably one of the nicest people I know, and he was mean to people.
All right, it was me. I'm sorry.
Come on, Boomer.
Mark was hosing him down with his hose, getting off my lawn.
Yeah.
And whenever you leave, they leave. You come back, they'll be back.
Control?
I'll just put her on pause for 15 minutes. Oh, I'll take a break at the same time.
I contemplated coming back, just letting it go. Like, let's see if anybody notices if I'm gone and how long I could actually be gone.
Want to take a nap? Go ahead.
Oh, don't tempt me, because I could really use a nap right now.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, let's see here. Let me regroup, pull myself together for all of you. You lucky dogs. Brought a little sass for the second half. I don't apologize if I offend anyone. I promise to be at least a little nice. All right, let me answer this question. Oh, wrong mouse. All right. All right. Well, welcome back, everyone, myself included. My name is Ange. I am with American Dream Trading. So welcome all of you, those that are coming in now and either revisiting or coming back or new, whatever. Good to see all of you again. My name's Ange, and I am with the Futures Education over here at American Dream Trading. Take a quick moment to thank the moderators who give up their time to come in here to help me rein you all in and make sure you don't do anything ridiculous. It's good to see all of you. Guys, thank you for giving your time. I appreciate all of you. Thank you to Coach for allowing me to sit in the hot seat. Makes the days fly by 10 times quicker than they did when I had a 9 to 5. Who knew? Let's see. Welcome everybody over on YouTube and TikTok, Facebook, and what's the other one? Twitch. Good to see all of you. Keep your questions coming. It makes the time go by quicker. I appreciate that. Good to see you guys. Anything exciting happen with MES while I stepped away?
Little up, little down, little sideways.
I
Excellent.
heard it might go up, but then again, some other guy said he heard sideways. But my neighbor said it was going down, so I don't know.
Maybe I should keep the chart up like this and move my turbo futures off to another screen. I like this view way better. Oh goodness. Anybody have any questions?
Ange, I have a question.
What's up?
Hey, it's actually a generic question about scalping.
Sure.
I don't do it too much, but when you scalp, do you find that you scalp more when it comes down to the 9 and then you pick it up then, or when it goes above and holds above the 9?
That's a good
Or
question.
does that matter?
For me, it doesn't matter. I like to see it. I'm used to seeing this. I have the wrong mouse. I'm used to, because of how I used to do stocks, I'm used to scalping above the 9. Like when it gets to about here and it holds, and I'll catch the pop up. So I will typically pay attention to that more so to the upside. However, as heavy as I get into these, it doesn't really matter to me because I'm looking for a quick pop and then I'm getting the hell out of it. So I'll make sure it's charted out a little bit for myself because I don't want to get into this unless I've charted it. What is going on? Oh, I'm on the 30-second, that's why. So I don't have my lines on here, but if I go back to the 1 minute, because I'll do the 30-second as well. We're below VWAP. It's sitting in this nice little channel right here. I'll throw a line here. I'll just walk you kind of through my process a little bit. I'll throw some resistance line here at 16 or 60.19.22. I already have one down here at 60.16.45. I'm going to spread this out a little bit more and make it wider. And I'm going to look to see if there's any other areas within here that I need to be well aware of. Here's a spot that looks like I need to pay attention to right about here or so at the, what was that? The 601696. I could put another one here just to really narrow it down. It's another critical area that this is one that I would identify as being a critical area. And then what I would essentially be doing at this point now is I could take this to the downside, right? Like it's below the 9, I could scalp it down if I chose, or if I choose to, or I could wait for it to get above the 9 and take it to the upside. I'm mostly familiar with doing it that way just because I did it with stocks. And I did it with the hot stock picks in the pre-market. So that would be typically what I would pay more attention to. I could also pay attention to this support line that I have here, watch the pop off of this as well. And if it were to stay above the 9, I could continue to write it to the upside. But the 9 is curling here on the 1 minute. I'd be a little bit more hesitant to go to the upside. I would more or less wait for it. Or because we're in futures and we have a margin account, we can do the reverse of that and we can short it. And you could short this. You could get picked up at the 9, take the quick short down to the 55, and that's a quick scalp right there. This would have been a good little scalp. And then I just regroup and do it again.
And the reason why I asked that, right? Because so I am a 2-minute EWO person, and I due to I guess time constraints, I want to switch over to the scalping side of it, right? That's what I really want to do. So I've been watching it, and you know how the coach says, when you get in, put a stop just below the EMA 9, hoping it will catch you and pick you up. So a lot of times that I've been watching it, it would just go below the EMA 9 and then go below where I set my stop, right? So that's why I asked it, was it better to do it the upside or to do it while it's going up or while it's coming back down to the 9? That's why I asked.
Sure. I think it's personal preference, honestly. Like for me, I'm more comfortable doing a scalp to the upside because I've done it for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me to take it to the downside, it has to be pretty definitive, and it has to have those clear expectations that it's going to continue to drop before I would take the short. These days I get chopped up a little bit when I short, so I try not to do that very much. While I continue to work on that skill set, because I'm not as confident shorting as I am if I take them to the upside or long. So, and because I can be patient and I can get in and out of these pretty quickly, I don't have a problem with waiting for it to get above the 9 again to take the next trade. It doesn't bother me. I can be patient. I do the same thing with watching the EMAs as well, and or not just the EMAs, but the 200 and VWAP as well. If it starts to pop, and you could see how it's respecting the 55 too, a few of these areas, right? Like it's coming down and then it reverses. So I'd be watching right here real closely. I wouldn't get into it yet, but I'd be watching it to see if it's going to reverse back to the upside or if it's going to continue to drop and come down to one of these zones we have down here, these levels. So I like to wait for confirmation, and then I like to go in heavy. Again, that comes with me doing this for a long time, catching that quick scalp. Yeah, Matt, I do chart on the 5 minute. Yeah, it is wonderful. I do like it. It's helpful. I like to chart though. I spend a lot of time charting. I I don't I don't typically get in anything unless I've charted it first. See, coming off that 55 again. See it break this, continue to the upside. We've got what? It just changed over. We're above the 9. We're above the 21. I'd like to see it continue. I'd like to see it get up here to probably that 60, what is that, 60, 18, 50 range-ish. I'd like to see it get up there. You can come over here to the L2 and you can look at this as well. It's heavy on the ask side, so it's going to continue to move forward, barring that we don't have anything weird happen over here on the bid side. What we essentially want to see happen is we want this number to continue to go down, and it keeps breaking through all of these. So it breaks through the 1775, then I want to watch it break through the 18, and then so on. And I want it to see it keep breaking through these levels on the ask side. See, it's chewing up 18. It's toggling a bit. Fighting a little right here in this area. And as you can see, looking back, like we've had numerous touches here, there's a good chance it's going to pop back down here to the 9. I'd be making a decision. If I got down in here off the 55, I'd take my profit and I'd regroup. Even if this decided to keep going to the upside, I'd take my small profit. I got a margin account. I'd take it. I take that as my win, and I'd regroup and get back in. Did it tell me that I need to get out of it? No, but I also know that I've seen this go through the 9 back down to the 55 with a wick, and I'd be in the red again. So I don't want to do that. So I want to take my little bit of pieces of profit that I can get when I can get it. So it's wicking down to the 9 and the 21. Coming back down to the 55 again. See if it's going to bounce off of this 55 again and ride back up. Or if it's going to come down here where it's touched again at the 60.1497. Just watching it closely here in preparation for a scalp to the upside. There's a pretty good pause there. 20 seconds left of this candle. Still watching this one closely here. If this breaks through this level here at 60.15, I would consider getting in here and shorting it. But given the direction it appears that it's going, that's why I wait. I was hoping it would have picked me up down a little bit further. Not at this spot, but missed me. 26 seconds left of this candle here. Again, looking to do just a quick scalp here. See if I can get it back above. It actually picked me up in the wrong spot. I actually wanted to pick me up a little bit further up than it did, but that's okay. Still watching it closely. Like to see it pop this 60, 16, 45. Thank you to everyone who's given out roses over here on TikTok. Those are kind of cool. Now we've popped down to this level here that we had charting prior, the 16, 14, 47. I do have a mental stop in place just in case I need to use it. I don't want to see it get much below this area here. If it does break through this, I'll regroup. I know each day what my mental stops are and what those look like. So even though I have stops that are pretty far, I have these far apart for a reason to support these wicks that happen. I could move this up to 200. I don't need to have it quite that far down, but I do have them in place for a reason. I want to see this reverse back. I would like to see this go back to the upside. I'll just wait patiently to see what it's doing, knowing that I have a mental stop at the 60, 14, 25. Touching it again. Still watching. I could look over at the L2, just look for some more confirmations. It's pretty even on both sides at the moment. So I'll just sit patiently and wait. I do have my trigger ready just in case. So it's important to have your stops on here just to protect you from having those catastrophic wicks that'll happen. So I have mine pretty far spread out. And then I have a mental stop in case I need it. I'd like to see this get above the 9. And I'd like to take this to the upside. So I'm just being patient. I don't have to be in any particular hurry with this. All right. Come on now. If I sell manually at the market, does it get rid of the stop loss? If I uncheck the box, it will. Otherwise, no. I have to manually do that myself. I have to manually get rid of that. We're coming back down to this dam level again. And I'll show you here in just a second because I'm going to get out of this if I can get it to pop up to the 9. I don't like that it's been below the 9 for this long. Yeah, being that it's been below the 9 this long, I don't enjoy that. And really, for me, I've overstayed my welcome. I don't enjoy that either. But I'll give it a second. Yep, I've definitely overstayed my welcome on this one. I'm going to get out of that. So I've sold it. It'll take a second for paper trading to catch up to it, and then I have to go and X out of these. So now we can look at the levels a little bit and see what we're working with here for a possibility of getting back in it. I would just wait till it decides what it's going to do by the 200. If it's going to come down and clip it before I consider getting back in. We're a bit heavy on the bid side. This looks like it could continue to drop. We're clipping below the 200 now. So we'll just wait and see what happens. See what this decides to do here. Next 4 seconds. Oh, that got me. I'm aware that my stop is pretty far down. All right, I'm not going to take this too much further. I want to see it keep going past the 9. Watching it clip the 9 now. Like to see it continue. Again, I don't need to come in here and try to, take a home run or anything. I'd like to see it to stay above the 9 here. 9 seconds left. It's stalling a bit. It's a pretty nice clip. Gonna keep watching it. Clip in the 21. Like to see it stay above this 9 still. Want it to stay above the 21. Want it to keep moving to the upside. It's above the 9. There's no indication to get out. This is a good scalp. Riding that sucker up still. 30 seconds left for this one. Still wanting it to stay above the 9. Being patient, right? I've got 5 contracts in here. I'm flipping the 55. I could move my stop up. I don't do this usually. So I don't typically move my stops like
Losing
that.
support. Losing support.
Yeah. So I'll move it up, but it really, for me, it's still mental. Still going to have my finger on that trigger to get out of it. Still above the 9. Ooh, I'm out. I'm taking my profit and I'm getting out of there. Close out of my stops so I don't get picked up again. It's okay if it keeps going. I don't really give a damn. I can regroup. I can put another order in and do the same thing. Base hits. Not looking for a home run or anything like that. It's how you get your face ripped off. And I've done it before, so just don't do it. So now I can get back in it again if I choose to and identify where we're at with the levels. Or I can write it back to the downside if it shows that's what it's going to do. There you have it. Mhm. It looks like it's wanting to sit here about the 9. Make this bigger so you can see what I'm looking at. So here's the 200, okay? The 9, the 21, and the 55. So it's sitting right here on the 9. What kind of questions do y'all have? I know it's been a minute here. We want just walk through a paper trade. For those of you who are coming in here, my name is Ange. I'm with American Dream Trading. You are stumbling into futures education. Good to see all of you over on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Facebook. Nice to see all of you. We do currently have a Black Friday sale on all our annual memberships for the first year. It's 50% off. Use code BF50 at checkout. Once you've done that and you've gone over to the website, under pricing, you'll scroll down to the bottom where you'll choose I think it's other packages. Click on there and get registered. And then you'll be able to join us in our various areas that we have available to you. We have lots of different programs. We have basic programs that are free up to the good annual memberships. You could pick and choose. Futures is listed in there. Futures is $250 a month, and you get coaches indicators plus several hours of training each day. So if that interests you, I'd encourage you to check that out. We also have other VIP programs in there too, where you can get into the pre-market in the early morning hours, which you're truly, myself, obviously, is in there typically every single day doing the same thing. I do the futures also during their pre-market hours. So while everyone is doing hot stock picks, I'm typically trading MES. in the early morning hours. So we have a lot to choose from over here at American Dream Trading. Should you have any questions or concerns, you can ask any of the moderators that we have and or our customer liaisons that are amazing. We are all here to help you. So I encourage you to do that. Still watching MES. This 4-hour thing is driving me nuts. I keep thinking I missed power hour. Coming up to a resistance line here that was charted out earlier today at the 60.18. If it can break through this, there's a chance it could get up to 60.20. So we'll watch it closely to see what it decides to do. I like to chart the candle and the wick sometimes, not just one or the other, just to keep an eye on it. Oh, I'm freezing. Good grief. Looks like it could reverse here and come back down to the 9. If you're a good scalper, you can scalp that candle. Getting pretty heavy on the bid side. Likes that 60.17 level we've drawn. See what it's going to do, if it's going to continue to respect the 9 to the upside. See what it's going to do here. So if I was going to potentially short this, I'd be watching it. It's hovering right now on the 9 and the 21 and the 55. And I would wait patiently before I'd ever consider getting in this, because it's really unclear exactly which direction it's going to go. So we'll just watch it closely. Because I'm not in any hurry to get into this. Swing back up to that 60.18. Curious to see if it'll break this area here at 60.18, 16.18.25. If it breaks this, there's a good chance it's going to go clear to the upside. Most likely hitting that 60-20, 60-20, 60-20, 60-25 range over on the ask side of the L2. Flipping 60-19. Got a level at 60-19. We've had hesitation here in the past, so let's keep an eye on it. Any of you all over there or out there on out in social media land, if you have questions, please ask.
Is this a triple top?
Yes. We're sitting on the 9. See if we can break it. Nope, we're going back up to that level again. 60-18-75. Turn back down to the 9. We're still pretty heavy though on the ask side, so we can watch it closely here to see if it's going to come back up to that 60-18-76. We have a critical level at 60-19 and resistance at 60-20.
So would you long this at 60-19, Ange?
If I were to do that, I hesitate here. I hesitate here when it comes to that because I've seen it flip around so fast. If I were going to do that and to take this long, I would give it a minute. I'm really paying attention to what it's doing here at the 9.
Too much diddle in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like it.
Now, if it wants to come down to the 21, if I could catch this off the 21 for a quick scalp long, I'd take it.
Okay.
But because it's sitting right here, actually on the 9, I'm hesitant to get into it because it could go either direction.
Yeah.
Now the order book or the L2 tells me that it's clear to go. It's clear to go to the upside. It just needs a little bit of a push.
We need what's his name to sing to it a little bit.
And that's why I wouldn't take it long. You see that? Like because it was dancing right there actually on the 9, I would be really hesitant to get into that. Too many times I've gotten in a scalp there before being new and attempted to go long and then got chewed up. So I always wait.
So what are you waiting to see? Are you waiting to see it go back up above the 9?
Yeah, so what I'm essentially looking for now is I am watching the 55. I'm looking to see if it's going to break through the 55 and go toward 200. 21 for me, the 21. So my 21 is that pale pink color. So
Yeah.
it's right here. Um, this is bottom for me. So depending on what it decides to do here at the 55, I could short this because then it's going to want to come toward the 200.
200.
Or I'll wait for it to decide what direction it's going, and I'll pay attention to the indicators here, the curve of the 9. If it's going to pop back up, and then I could take it back up if I wanted to.
Okay.
Like I'm waiting to see this reverse. So, yep, I'm not in any hurry to get into this. I just keep watching it, right? Like I want it to decide what it's going to do here before I get into it. If this was me and I was sitting here by myself, I would be watching for, I'd actually have this blown up pretty big, and I would have my fingers on the buy sell, and I would be doing what Christina's doing, and I'd be doing the candles,
Hmm.
but not on live training. That comes with a lot of screen time. Mhm. So it's bouncing off one of the levels we've had on here previously at the 60, 15, 44. It is below all the indicators except for the 200. I'm looking to see this continue to drop.
So if it breaks and holds below the 200, is that a good time to short?
If it breaks and holds below the 200, if it gets down that far, I'd be watching it to reverse. But that's just me. I don't know what
Okay.
everybody else's take is on that. Looks like it's liking this level here. Let's see what it does. It's bouncing off that level that it has previously. 60, 14, 47. It is pretty heavy. I'm going to go to bed. It's going to come down even further. Hmm. Anybody have any questions? Looking over at the chats. Are above 9 again. Like to see it break above and stay there. Fifteen seconds left. There's some hesitation happening right here, so I'll wait. Mhm. I'd like to see it pop above the 55 here. I'd like to see it clip 60, 16, 75 and break that down. I'd like it also to stay above the 9. I'd like to see it make another pop here again. I'd like to see it click the 6, the 25, the 50, and over the 17. I'd also like to see it get up to the 60, 18. So I'm just watching it closely here. Staying above the 9, preferably. I'll leave my stop alone when I'm ready to pull the trigger. I could move my stop above if I choose to. I'm choosing to leave it alone. Slip in the 60, 17. I'd like it to go back up there again. It's hesitating here. I'm not liking that. I have the choice to stay in it or stay in it and take the chance or see if it'll pop again. If I can get this to pop to the upside, I'm going to get out of it. Otherwise, I'll take the small loss. Still like to see it get to that 60, 18. See if it gets a little bit more juice in it here. My 9 is curling to the upside. See right here, right? Like it's indicating a little bit that's going to go up. Keep watching it here. It's going to move, but I still have my finger on the trigger. So to keep from having too much of a loss here, I wanted to clip that 18 again before I've overstayed my welcome. See if it'll go back up there to that 18. All right, I'm getting out of it because there's a steady pause again. Paper trading is hella slow. So if it ever lets me out, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Take my little piece of profit, right? And I can regroup and do it again. You do that several times a day, win, lose, or draw, right? Because you can't win them all. Your profits and loss will definitely show you know what you're doing and you can get in here and chart this, that you'll still take some losses, right? But you should be on the green side when you're done. So to keep from over trading, I always have a goal in mind every day. I know what I need to do in the market to have that winning mentality, right, for the day. So I have a small goal so I don't overtrade. Vanette, you have your hand up. What's up?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Pre-market, you said you do the futures in the pre-market. How is that different than doing it during the regular market?
It's slow as hell. Truthfully, it is slow. It's slower, I guess. So I'll log in the morning between 4 a.m. and 4 and 5:30 a.m. somewhere in that area each day. And so futures are running during that time. So where the volatility will be is going to be where the news is and or when the markets are closing or opening across the world. So during intraday, for us here in the US, when our markets open, you're going to see the most volume and volatility in the indices. So that's going to be the Qs, so that'll be in reference to NQ or the Qs, the ESs for SPY, RTY or M2K for IWM. What's the other one? M for the Dow. What is it? MYM is the E-mini Dow Jones. So those are gonna follow those pretty well during the intraday hours. So during our US hours. In the pre-market, I typically will look at anything that's moving. I actually like to look at MES during the pre-market, believe it or not. It slows down significantly. It respects the 9 respectfully. And I can get in and do just as good of a scalp then that I can during the day. The only difference is it's slowed down significantly. I'll also look at the FX futures during the early morning hours, and I'll take a look at gold and crude oil. So the only difference between trading those contracts, these future contracts, during the intraday versus during the pre-market hours is the margin. The margin for each one of them is different. So the margin's a lot higher in those early morning hours than what they are currently, the prices. So you just have to watch that, especially depending on the size of your account. You'll want to pay attention to that because you may not be able to trade some of those in that early morning hours because of how expensive the contracts are. But at 8 a.m. or so it would be 9 a.m. Eastern, the contract price goes to the intraday price 30 minutes before the bell. And so you can do some scalping then that 30 minutes before when the volume starts to pick up before the market even open, the US market even opens. And you'll see some significance during that time.
So is it just like the regular market? You have to put a limit order in. You can't just click a market order. And do you have stops?
Yep. So you can do both. So I will do a limit order I will put in a limit order if I'm looking to get picked up. So for example, on the current one I have up here, the MES main, if I want it to come pick me up down here at this 6014, 1615, I'll just leave it as is. I would do buy with my limit order. So the top 2 are your limits. So I would just go here and yep. So I would go here, it would put my limit order in. So say I put my limit order in up here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click, let's see what it's going to do. It's 12 for 9. Let's just do this. I just put a market order in. Market order is going to pick me up right away. So even during pre-market hours, you can do limit and market. You can do both. So if I'm waiting to get picked up, I put in a limit order. I always get out with a market order. Always. I hope they didn't confuse you.
No, I was following you because I'm familiar with those, but you can during the pre-market you can do a stop. You can have a stop order.
Oh yes, yep. During pre-market, you can also have a stop. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You bet. All right, I'm gonna get out of this here.
That's the beauty. Your stop losses work all the time. No matter when you're in the market, you can use a stop. Market order, market open, market order. They don't have pre-market and stuff like that. So use it. Christina.
Yep. And then if you forget to put it in, you can always put it in after. It's a lot easier to do it. Put in your stops. It's a lot easier to do that on the real money side than on the paper. And that's just my personal opinion.
I can't scalp it to save my life.
I struggle with scalping on paper. I can do it just fine with money, but I can't. The paper side just irks me. But I think it's going to take me out at break even. That's okay. Get me out of this. I typically, when I scalp, I like to do between 1 and 5. I will do 10 if I'm incredibly confident and my charting, and where the general direction the market's going. But you don't really need to do more than one contract. And if you're new, don't do the let me make this so that I can show you. See if I can grab it. Come on, you dirty bird. Oh, what did I do? Back. Come on. It does not like me today. Let me fix this here. So what was I saying? So if you're new and you're coming into futures after paper trading for a while, make sure you're doing the micro e-minis instead of the let me pull it up
Minis.
here. The minis, thank you. I don't know why I always confuse the shit out of them, but I do. Make sure you're doing those first and really start with one, work on your position size. Like one of our tasks we've been tasked with for the month of November is making sure we're using the proper position size. So start with one so you can get familiar with how it moves, how the ticks come into play, how your stops work with it. And then once you get comfortable with one, add a second one. Do the same thing. Get comfortable with that, how it moves, how it navigates. Once you've done that, you can keep increasing them, right? As your account grows, keep increasing them. If you find that you get sweaty or whatever, depending on which ones you're in or how many you have in there, if your position size is really large, drop it back down. There's nothing wrong with coming in here with one. I don't know. The first time that I came in here was I think I did 10. We had a little chewed up. So I went back down. I learned real quick that I didn't need to go very far with these. I didn't have to have so many at once. So yeah, so we just rinse and repeat the same process all day long. Yes, the last few hours have been terribly choppy. Nally, we are looking at MES main. All right, we'll keep watching this for a second. I'm going to actually grab my water because apparently I forgot that in the kitchen.
Hey, Ange, is MES main a micro or a mini?
I believe it's
ME,
micro. The
yeah,
ES is the mini, I think.
yeah, ES is your root, and then anything in front of the root is going to be a micro. But it's called the mini S&P. So mini is the larger one. Think of that as like SPX, and the micro is the smaller one. Think of that as like SPY.
So is she just charting this on main and then she's selecting a different one to trade?
No, on Weeble, so you can see on her screen, like you pointed out on her chart, it says MES main. But if you look at her Turbo Trader widget, it actually picks the December contracts. So the way that Weeble works, it picks the contract that that has the most open interest, or what we would call the front month contract. So even though that you're charting on the main or the continuous chart, um, Weeble automatically selects the correct month contract that you want to trade. So you don't lose your data, because if you do chart on the December contract, that charting will only be valid on the December contract. So when you're setting up your watch list and you're setting up your Weeble, make sure that your watch list are all the main of whatever root contract that you want to trade. So if it's ES or NQ or RTY, RTY's micro is is M2K, so they've changed that a little bit. But make sure that you are charting on the main, and then it will automatically populate on your turbo widget for the correct month that you need to be trading. Um, Granted, that is for intraday trading and scalping. If you're doing swing trading and stuff like that, you might want to look at it a little bit different. But for what we're teaching here, for the intraday trading, that's going to work just fine.
Okay, who am I talking to here?
This is Aaron.
Okay, Aaron. So just to get it straight, it's going to automatically pick it, but um, you're going to be able to chart in this MES main. But are we trading micro or mini right now? Like the smaller amount? I'm just getting into it. So it's my first
Yeah.
day on here, so I just want to.
Yep. No, no, exactly. No, great questions. So yeah, if you're pull up the MES main or the micro, because M is going to be for the micro, ES is your root. If you're charting on the MES main, it's automatically going to pull the micro. You could see on her turbo futures um, widget, it says micro E mini S&P December 24. So it is going to pick the correct month. So if you're on ES main, it's going to automatically populate the trade widget for E-mini S&P, not the micro. So it's tied together. Make sure you have your grouping all correct, like she does. You have, make sure they're all on one, so everything changes the same. And then once you get all those settings correct, once you select the main chart, and this is for any contract. So if you switch over to NQ and you're on MNQ, it will populate the trade widget for micro NQ, um, NASDAQ futures for the correct month that you need to be trading in.
Is there a video already on how to set that all up?
Yeah, there's definitely videos on it. It's as far as if you have a specific question, I could go over it as far as how to set it up. Are you asking about the groupings or,
Yeah, the watch list. Yeah.
well, like the watch list? So I don't know if you want to follow along, or I could take over the screen, Ange.
If I take over the
But
screen, they won't be able to see your screen, so I can walk through with you.
okay. So right now you could see that she made this window big. She's on her watch list. If you
Okay.
if you don't have a watch list built, because we've combined, I think Ange done the same thing, and I do the same thing. I combined my, are you new to ADT period, or are you
No,
just coming over?
No, but this is my
Okay.
first time in futures, as far,
Oh
participating.
yeah,
in it.
USA Tour. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you could set up your futures layout in your regular stocks and options layout if you want, or you could create a new one. You don't need too many more tabs, and it's pretty easy just to incorporate it. But nonetheless, once you already have a watch list, so I would create a you don't need a new watch list widget, but inside the current watch list that you do have,
Hmm.
create a futures section and just name it futures.
Sure.
Yeah, you could do it a couple ways. One by what she is showing you,
Hmm.
um, and then you could use the hamburger menu and then go to watch list edit.
Hmm.
Hamburger menu's on the top right hand if you want to go there. No, the other one. The other right. There you go. And then go to edit watch lists.
Yeah.
And then it brings up this page. And then
Hmm.
you could go on the bottom right there below where she's at, says add watch list, name it, and then you could put all your futures contracts that you want to trade in there, and then you could rearrange and move the watch list in the orientation that you want. So if you want to move it up, because it puts it on the bottom. But when you're creating your watch list, as you could tell, on hers, make sure that all the main that you're charting the main. If it
Okay.
says, if it says a December contract, it has a letter and a, ESZ 24, that's going to be the month contract, and that's the one that you're currently trading, but you don't want to trade or you don't want to chart on those. You want to chart on all the mains, and then we will automatically populate the correct month that you want to trade. And the reason why is just historical data, and then you would only be able to chart for that current contract duration. So on the indices or the equities, ES, NQ, RTY, um, and YM, they're quarterly, so they're about every 3 months. And you would only have the charting, your lines would only be valid for those months, and then you would lose it when you went to the next month. So that's why we choose to popular a watch list with all the mains. And in other, like in TradingView, it's a continuous. If you do use TradingView, you just type in ES, but it's called a continuous chart where you'll get charting from all the different contracts. So if you want to look at historical data or if the price action is coming up or down into a price that exceeds that current contract duration, you'll be able to see critical levels. So you could chart your support and resistance and stuff like that. So always populate your watch list with the mains, and then the trade widget itself will populate the current contract month that you need to be trading.
Oh, okay. Okay. So starting off fresh, I should do like one contract with a stop loss of 10 ticks on MES main.
Well,
Would that be the cheapest
essentially,
way to do it?
yeah, essentially. So another thing too, if you go to another thing you want to make sure that you have on your um, in your widgets is the quotes widget, because each contract is going to have a different margin requirement, and each product is going to have a different tick and tick value per what you're trading. So let's just focus on MES. So on the quotes widget, on the very bottom, it says more. And once you click more, it'll bring up the contract specs. You could look at and you have some information there, but
Okay.
what you really want to do is hit the spec link on the bottom right hand corner. It's going to pull up a web page on your current browser, and she just dragged it in for us. But since we were on the micro E-mini S&P,
Okay.
it's gonna pull that up, and then it's automatically gonna go to the specs area. If this is your first day, cmegroup.com is the Bible to futures. So if you don't have that bookmarked, I would highly recommend bookmarking that now. And then we could go over, and there's videos on this too, but we could go over it live today or tomorrow or whatever. But the specs tab is where the specs links will automatically take you to the current contract or current contract that you're wanting to trade. So we're on that micro E-mini S&P. It's going to take us to the spec tab. And then
Okay.
what you want to pay attention to is this minimum price fluctuation. So
Where are we
and
looking?
so on the E-mini, each tick is 25 cents. So each movement on the chart is going to be 25 cents. That 25 cents is equal to $1.25 on the e-minis. So when you're planning or wanting to figure out what dollar value is 10 ticks, you
Okay.
could take that ratio and figure out, obviously 10 ticks times, 125 or 15 ticks or whatever that is, and make sure that that fits in your um, risk profile.
Hmm.
Make sure you're not risking more than the 3%, just, again, following coach's rules and applying all that. But each contract is going to have a different rate, a tick rate, and a tick value per the contract. So again, just focusing on the S&P. So the micro E-minis is going to be $1.25. The E-mini S&P is basically it's going to be, well, the micro is a tenth of what the E-mini is. So the E-mini is going to be $12.50. And that's the same with the equities. So NQ, ES, YM, and RTY. And most of them have about a tenth if they have a micro from the minis or they have a micro version of the contract product that you're wanting to trade. Typically, they're around a tenth. The futures and Bitcoin, some of the other products are a little different. So it's highly, highly recommended for each product that you trade or each contract that you want to trade. You go into this spec tab because they're not going to be the same, as well as your required margin to get into that said contract. So E-mini is $96 during intraday. The the micro E-mini is $96 for intraday. The E-mini S&P is $963. So again, they're going to follow, most of them follow that same tenth. But you want to make sure that you look at that, like NQs, I think 100 and $122 for MNQ, and for the regular NQ it's $1,221. So, and then Ange posted up the cost for, people starting out with a smaller account of the ones that are affordable. The prices that you see that are there are found in the futures lounge or the futures training area. We have all that planned out, but this is just a quick little thing that she has with the ones that you could trade with a $500 account. It's also pinned. I pinned it in the Futures Lounge. So there's multiple ways of finding it, but I would just get really familiar with the CME group. Weeble does a good job with the quotes tab under the more button and then spec link. So whatever current ticker that you're on or whatever product that you're on, you could just drill down real quick and find it.
Hmm.
But if you got some extra time and you know, you want to learn yourself a little bit, you could come into the CME group and then you could search around and there's a lot more product that the CME group has than Webull offers. That's why I kind of like the drill down through Webull because then you know that Webull actually has that available to you. You'll be able to find products in CME group that Webull doesn't currently trade. So build your list. I mean, the six that we have, the CL, the GS, ES, the M2K, which is RTY, NQYM, and HG. Those are a good handful that keep yourself busy. If you like S&P or if you like SPX, ES is going to be you. If you like NASDAQ, NQ is going to be you. If um, gold and oil, if you like those. But that list that she posted in the Zoom link is a pretty good amount to get your feet wet and make sure that you're paper trade and how everything works. And then once you learn the cost and the tick rate on those on those 6, then it'll be, it'll be second nature to go find other things as well. So, yeah, hopefully that answers some of your questions.
Yeah, it does. You said in the futures lounge for somebody, so all I did was put 500 into account just to see if I like this. So I
Yep.
want to find that link you're talking about where I can figure out the cheaper ones here.
I just
Yeah, it's
posted it in
also
the
in
Futures
the,
Lounge.
yeah.
Yeah, so in
Okay.
the Futures Lounge, I guess somebody just posted it, but if you go to the Futures Lounge
Mhm.
and on the top right, you should see a little pin. It looks like a little thumbtack. I've pinned it in there. There's also other
Okay.
things that we've pinned in there, but there's a little list. It looks like a little Excel sheet. It's the
Oh,
same list that Nanj posted in the Zoom link, but that's where I would start. And then I guess, like I said, somebody else just posted it in the
I got it.
Futures Lounge
Perfect.
on Discord as well. So
Yeah.
start with that again. Just highly recommended making a watch list that says futures, and then making sure that you're putting all the mains in there for the root of whatever product or contracts that you're trading. And then you could put, she like this one, she has the M6E and then she has the micro and the minis or the regular one in there. So if you want, however you want to organize it, but just make sure they all say main on it. Because
Okay.
again, we'll pick and populate the futures trading widget with the current contract that you need to trade with.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Great questions. Thank you. And welcome aboard on the futures side of trading on ADT.
Right.
I remember your picture. You got those macaws. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Is that actually a picture of you? Or is
Yeah,
that AI?
absolutely. Come on now.
Well, yeah, like I mean, getting the birds on you. I don't, are those like real birds sitting on your shoulders?
Well, I was on vacation at the time, and
That's pretty
somebody
cool.
come up on the beach and took a picture. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Right on, man.
I need to be on the beach. It's so cold
Yeah.
here.
It's
Oh,
all brown here in Michigan. That's where I'm from.
okay. Yeah, you're further north than I. Yep, I am over it already, and it hasn't even started.
None of that sounds good. I'm in my weather right now for winter is 85, 55. So I'll let I'll let you guys have that for a little treat.
Thanks.
No problem. Anytime. Ask me the weather. I'll tell you what it is down here. 85, 55.
All right, so we're winding down the last, well, what is it? The last 25 minutes of regular market. So we'll start to see a slowdown here in about, well, I guess not really a slowdown. It has slowed down significantly. It looks like, make sure I'm still on the 1 minute. I don't eat my words. Still watching at MES main. So typical power hour, we start to see an influx of volume um, and some volatility here the last hour of the day. But given that it's the day before a holiday, this does not shock me that we are seeing it consolidate in this general area, but it's also not really, doesn't really feel like it's doing a whole hell of a lot at the moment. So while you always take it for what it is, it's always just something to keep in mind that we've always just been taught to trade the trades, right? Not really pay much attention to else, just being cautious. So we'll start to see that slow down. Now, the futures market still has another hour after the US closes today. So we do still have another hour to do some trading if we choose to. I typically like to gander and look for a good setup if I'm going to take something, but I typically try to start winding down after live is over with, just to give myself some space with the market. Otherwise, I'll sit in here all day like I have been already, and I'll just keep going. So while we keep watching watching MES. We can gander out a little bit too and see. I know we spent a lot of time on MES today. This is typically where I sit during pre-market hours and regular hours, catching the volatility candles and getting what I need out of the market to live. But I'm no stranger to watching copper. Oh, I forgot. Let me fix that. I'm no stranger to watching copper from time to time on a higher time frame. Um, it's for me, it's more of a conversation starter with my dad. So I'll look at copper here or there. I watch gold obviously at nighttime. Typically, I don't do much with it during the day, but it is an option there. This is why I don't do much with it in the day. There's a hell of a lot more going on in the market than watching this. So I'll go pay attention to something else, but I do like to watch it in the evening. In the evening time is a great time to catch gold on an EWO if you're EWO players. Mark can contest to that. I personally don't do much with the MYM or the micro E-mini Dow Jones. I have it on here because it's part of the indices, but I don't do much with it outside of that. In fact, I don't even think I have a line. Okay, I lied. I do have lines on here, but I don't do much with this at all whatsoever. I also have the Russells on here. I have the Russells obviously because it's an indice, but I have these because we follow this in the stock education in the morning with Coach and the Zoom chat. So I do have the micro and the mini on here, which I follow throughout the day. I will also take some scalps in here when I see an opportunity to do so. I guess that was the Dow I was on, but here's the RTY and the M2K for the Russells. Like I said, I'm in this one pretty often. NQs like to rip my face off, so I typically try to stay away from NQ as much as possible. B and I do not like one another. It's best that we stay on the other side of the planet from one another, which is fine. I like the MES and the ES. When I will go in the minis. I will take a look at the minis and trade these if I see good setups. Otherwise, I typically like to stay in the MES, the micros, and I do that because I can control and have a higher position size with my account size that I like to keep versus what it is to have and do multiples of the ES minis or the minis. Crude oil is something that I follow. While she is a little choppy and a little hostile from time to time, I do trade this one pretty regularly, at least a couple times a week. A lot of times it is just some extreme scalping because he and I like to fight as well. He likes to chew me up a little bit once in a while. And then I do have just a couple odd and end ones in here too in my futures, and I have the Australian dollar and the micro Euro USD. And I like to go in here when I feel the need to just make some quick cash. I'll trade these on the 5-minute, and I'll do my brief charting. I'll look at the L2 and I'll put an order in, and I will let it sit and wait for it to pick me up. Once I get notified, and what I do with these, again, y'all do what you want. I'll do my charting. I'll pick a level where I want it to pick me up at, and I will put it either 1 or 2 above or below where I'm looking to get in at, and I'll put a reminder to tell me when it gets to a certain level, so I know to come back to it. To decide if I want to still get in if the L2 says I should or shouldn't. And I will do that way because these are terribly slow to watch. So I'll do that if I remember or if I'm not at another trade already at the time. And then just remember if you do that to come back in here and turn your alarm off. Otherwise, it'll notify you every time it reaches that level. And it'll drive you freaking nuts. So I watch these as well. Over the last week or so, we've dabbled a little bit in a little bit of everything in the future side. We've done a lot with the indices. We've looked at a lot of the FX futures, metals. We've done a bit with energy. I covered a little bit earlier this week on the 10-year note. This is kind of an interesting interesting one to look at if you're ever curious as to what these are about. I encourage you to do some research and gander. This one also respects the 9 pretty nicely. And when the indicators cross over, it also supports that pretty well as well. It is interesting to look at if you're ever curious. So do some research on your own if you want to dabble a little bit. Outside of interest rate futures, we've also covered a bit of crypto. I do follow the Bitcoin, uh, one of the Bitcoins, and then I follow one of the Ethers I have on a list. I will come in here and trade some of these a little bit if I have time. Ether's kind of fun. She's choppy, but I like to throw her around a little bit and make a little cash here and there. And then agriculture has its own set of fun. If you're ever curious as to how agriculture works, I encourage you to do your own research on this as well. But same goes with this one. If I do come in here and decide to do anything, obviously I've done this with soybean. You do the charting that you need to. This is old charting. In fact, this actually has my month, week, day charting on here, and I can tell just by looking at colors that I see. And you could see, I don't know if it was earlier this week or if it was last week. I don't remember what day it was I was in here in soybean, but I could see that my lines are still holding pretty true. Where you can come in here and do some scalping, or if you like to do the 2-minute EWO, you can do that over here as well. Again, respects the indicators as it should, and get in here and do some scalping and have some fun with it. I've looked a little bit at corn. I've looked at lean hogs just for the sake of fun. Don't discriminate against any of these. If I see a good opportunity, I'm gonna attempt it. This reminds me of the end of day penny stocks. It's interesting. They're actually really expensive. I had paper trading up, so it doesn't pull up over on paper trading side with the proper price. Yeah, be mindful of that too if you're new. Be mindful of that if you are new. That the paper trading cost of the futures is off in comparison to what they actually are on the live side. So make sure you're paying attention to that. For example, again, I like to trade a bit of the lean hog from time to time too. So the contract price for one of these is a little bit more expensive at 1,650 for one contract for these. Keeping in mind that this doesn't always match up on the paper trading side. So even though this one does currently, it doesn't always. So be mindful of that. But do some research. You could find out the different identifiers as to what affects the cost of lean hogs in any of the agriculture. It's kind of neat if that's something that you're interested in. I am not typically someone who would care so much about this, but I do find it interesting as an opportunity to trade something. So it's kind of fun. Live cattle is the same way. Live cattle, I believe, is ridiculously expensive too, but I can't remember if this one matches or not. So let's take a look. Ellie Maine. Ellie Maine for one contract is 24.20. So it does match over here as well. But again, like I said, it doesn't always match on all of them. Do the same thing over here. You could chart it out, get your levels right. Take a look if there's any upcoming news for agriculture before you jump into one of these. Know your position size, know where your stop losses are, and you can come in here and trade these as well. Agriculture does have a different time frame as to when they open and close, so always be mindful of those. Hours for agriculture, good question. Let's look. You can identify that for yourself by going to quotes, more, under more. This one, it'll tell you all the different information here for first trade notice, etc. And then it'll give you the trading hours down here at the bottom, 8:30 to 13:05. And this is in Central Time. Good question.
Yeah, and then just noticed on here as well, I mean, since we are trading futures, this is going to be 40,000 pounds of what are you on live cattle, and
Mm-hmm.
that it is deliverable. So there is a possibility if someone would want 40,000 pounds of live cattle, they could have some delivered to them. But one contract is equal to this information here. So it's again another just interesting thing. We are trading futures, and there are products that are deliverable with this as well. So
Let's make sure we remind Dawn that if she comes over here and she trades not to trade live cattle, so let's all make sure we have that conversation.
yeah.
How about this is cool. If you ever get a chance to come over here and dabble in the future side of agriculture, it's kind of cool. Note that this is not all of the futures that are out there. This is just what currently Webull has to give us. So after the first of the year, we will see an increase in other futures that will be available. So always check back to the webull.com/futures. And margin rates is another one where you'll be able to see anything that gets added. We should also get a notice either in our Webull desktop or our email letting us know that they've added more futures as well. They will also let us know if they adjust any of the margin prices, so the transaction fees. They'll let us know that too, if that should arise. I don't remember what day it was, and I think it was right before I was on vacation. Let's see if I can pull it up. One of them was supposed to change, but I haven't looked at it since. Let's see if it did. Yeah, maybe it was just, yeah, the commission fee changed on the Bitcoin and the Ether. I don't remember what the price was originally, but the commission fee was adjusted to 50 cents. So I want to say it was like over $6 or $5 to trade uh the crypto futures. And they made an adjustment to the commission fee, so now it's 50 cents instead. So it dropped it down to like $3.30 instead of like five something. So it did make that adjustment, and that was last, I think, Thursday or Friday or something like that, is when that change was made. That is a lot of cows. You're right. What would make it even funnier is if she actually did that and her wife saw that there were cattle in the front yard, she'd probably die. I think would be funny. Maybe not so much anyone else.
See, don't
Well,
be
unfortunately,
in here with these cows. Dawn gonna want that lean hog, all right? Bacon. She want that pork, swine, all right? She gonna test in the meat. She gonna go best, all right?
Yeah, she'll want that
Not bad,
soybean.
not bad.
unfortunately, Webull does not allow physical delivery.
Oh, even
Yeah.
better. Well, that's good. We don't need to have that happen. So that's good.
Dawn is gonna kill her, so she not in here.
She isn't, but I wish she was.
I'm scared of Dawn. Don't tell her.
I'll text her to be fine. So hot, man. Oh, what else do we got? Yeah, soybeans kind of fun to look at too. I grew up in farm country, and I would always hear this crap on TV and stuff and never really knew what the hell it was. I live in farm country still these days, and I'm a city girl, and I could give a shit less about any of this stuff. If I see something running, I'm gonna snag it. I don't really care. So that's just me personally. I'll trade a trade. I don't give a damn what it is. But I do find it very entertaining to come in here and just kind of see what else is out there. Same with oats. If you guys have ever looked at oats, this is interesting. I'd encourage you to do some reading on oats as well and what the factors are that take into play with these. Very slow to watch, kind of irritating to pay attention to, but they do respect everything that we've learned over here at AT. So if you're interested in coming in here and buying and selling oats, you can do that over here as well. Kind of cool if you're into it. I mean, whatever, right? Like, I don't care. Still fun to look at. So as we're getting ready to wrap up the holiday, the day before the holiday, I'll start doing some closing remarks. For those of you that are just now coming in, my name is Ange. I am with American Dream Trading. I am the futures education mentor. You get to see me every single day, Monday through Friday, here live on all the social media platforms from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. And if you are a part of our premium memberships, you see me each day from noon to 2 o'clock uh, during during business hours, Monday through Friday. There will be some small changes more with that group here this next week, as I will be doing some more additional training during some, so we'll have additional help helping out with the group. So if you're a premium member, stay tuned. Nothing changes for you, just some different faces. So that'll be great for everybody. But I'll still be live during the day. So lucky you. I want to thank our moderators who give their time so graciously to come in here every single day and lend a hand. I honestly have no idea what I would do without all of you. I don't know if I would have the time to sit here and get rid of all the trolls and answer all the additional questions that don't get answered on live. I appreciate all of you guys for coming in here and doing so. Also, thank you to Coach for allowing me to sit in this hot seat and train all of you on futures. It's kind of exciting to sit here and scalp with all of you on the paper trading side. It's kind of fun. So thank you, Coach, for allowing me to do that. And last but certainly not least, I know I have a ton of friends and family that watch this every single day. I think you are all crazy. You all see me in person. I don't know why you want to see me on a screen, but I appreciate all of your support. After the show today here, we have about an hour break or so. Then I would like to see all of you head over to YouTube and support Dawn over in the after show. She puts on a great show. She always has great guests. Sometimes when I get a chance, I'll pop over there too and support her just as she does me. The after show is great. So that's over at YouTube at 5 o'clock. So make sure you go and show some support. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to all of the social media platforms so you don't miss anything going on over here at American Dream Trading. We appreciate all of you very, very much. Want to thank all of you in the social media land for asking all the questions you do that help make this 2 hours, and in this case, this week, the 4-hour turnaround we've done every single day this week to help make this go by as quickly as possible. Yeah, so I thank all of you guys for doing that as well. And just so everybody is clear, American Dream Trading and anyone associated with us are not tax or financial investment advisors. Everything we discuss during our training is for education purposes only, and you should not use real money while you're training. For the absolute love of God, use your stops. Okay? Let's not forget those stops, guys. We do have a couple questions over on YouTube. Are there turkey futures? There actually are, but Webull doesn't have it. It doesn't support it. If you want to see some of the ridiculous things that are out there for futures, go over to TradingView and check out the list. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of fun, actually. So go over and check that out. And then, yes, I agree with no one over on YouTube. Make sure you are closed out of all of your open orders before you close your trades today. Make sure you don't leave anything open. You don't want to bust the hell out of your account. You don't want to have any kind of weird margin calls that you weren't expecting, especially going into those maintenance hours where the cost of them increase. So make sure you guys are out of all of your stuff. Yeah, make sure that you guys are doing that and you close out of everything properly and don't get distracted. Just check everything before you check out for the day. Market will open for futures on Thanksgiving evening. I believe it's 8 o'clock Eastern. Let me double check the actual time. Oh, yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Futures will open up. If I have my way, I will be in it because that's just how ridiculous I am. And then, yeah, so they will be open then continuing until 4 a.m. Eastern on Friday, the 29th. Markets will then close early at 1 p.m. So keep that in mind for Friday as you're coming in here. Everybody enjoy your weekends and your long holiday with your families and friends. For those of you who are going to stick around and not do anything exciting over the weekend, take this time to do some studying if that's what you choose to do. I know I will be doing some myself and always trying to fill my cup with more knowledge and being a better trader every single day, especially on the future side. Possibly bring some new content over to increase all of our knowledge base. But in the meantime, we'll continue to use the stuff that we've learned here over at ADT and apply it every single day with our scalping and the 2-minute EWOs. Oh my God, I don't have 45 more seconds of anything to say to anybody. Does anybody have any more questions?
No, I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to all you guys. Very helpful.
You're
Yeah,
welcome,
thank
guys.
you, Ange.
Thanks,
Hello.
I want
Ange.
to
You did a great
say
job.
happy
Good times. Good
Thanksgiving.
times. Happy
Happy
Turkey Day.
Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Make positive, lasting memories with those you're around.
Make good
Bye.
choices.
Sir.
Yes, Christina, make good choices.
I am. I'm trying. I am definitely
And if
making
not,
good choices.
contact Government Cheese at 555-5555 for your bail bond.
Oh, that would be a great joke to play on him. I have to totally do that. Be like, government cheese.
Yeah, that would be a good joke.
Wouldn't that be horrible?
Need your
Could you
help.
imagine what he'd say? Oh my word.
Oh, he would yell
What?
at me.
He would yell at you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, everyone have a
Big
happy
brother.
Thanksgiving. Enjoy your
too.
long
Thanksgiving.
weekend. Do all your studying. Make sure you're taking notes. Make sure you're journaling. And we'll see everybody back here on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
You too. Good night.
You too.